ready. Okay.
Okay. I have turned on the recorder. The time is now 9:32 a.m. I'm going to call the meeting of the Venetian Community Development District to order. Today is Monday, September 22nd, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the call to order / roll call. Those supervisors that are present are Jill Pizarro, Cheryl Tarana, Cindy Snezik, and Rich Goodman. Supervisors, we do have Supervisor Ken Smaha with us via phone. At this time, we would need a motion to allow Ken to participate and vote via phone.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jill,
Second.
second by Sydney. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you. On behalf of District Management is myself, Belinda Blandon. District Council Andy Cohen is present. Field Manager Keith Livermore is present. We do have John Fowler with Landscaping Inspection Services present as well. And we have Stephen Giovanello from Vesta present as well. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So before we move into public comment, we are going to amend the agenda. Cheryl, can you please state for the record what the additional agenda items will be?
The first agenda item will be cul-de-sac work in the community. And the second will be, what did you say?
Ratification of 2 expenses for pool repairs.
So I guess those will be J and K. So we just need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I make that motion.
Second.
Second by Jill. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Thank you. We're now going to move into the public comment portion of the agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, we will limit public comments to 3 minutes per person. Our first speaker is Mark, I'm sorry, is it Leg?
Leg, yep.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Mark and I live on Treviso Court. And I just have 3 comments or whatever they are. First, I wanted to thank everybody for all the work they do. The community is looking better all the time. There's several things, speed bumps, the landscaping is going in. There's a lot of activity. You identified a lot of problems and you're going to the solutions. And that's the way it's supposed to work. And there's 2 things I just wanted to bring up, and because it's all a work in progress, and it's all off of the 9th tee. The landscaping, there's a big gap in the corner of the tee box. And that's where I live adjacent to it, directly across from there. And that's where all the people come in to go fishing and just walk across there or to golf. There's people that come in there with golf balls and a golf club and they just hit them around in the evening. The other thing with that tee is there's been, and it's been the last couple of weeks, quite prevalent for some reason. Not women golfers, gentlemen golfers. Okay, relieving themselves.
Oh my God.
Okay, and this has gone on, we just moved here 2.5 years ago. Love the place. Keith, everybody does the job, the place is beautiful. But this is, I don't know what's happened in the last 2 weeks. Every time we go out to my patio, there's somebody over there between the 8th hole and the 9th tee, and there's no bushes, and then the oak tree, and a lot of people know where I'm talking about, the oak tree and the bench, and right there. And it's just unacceptable. We're not in the woods. So, anyway.
We'll have to bring that up to the golf course.
I went and talked to Gary at the golf course, and he said he would pass it on, but there wasn't any management there at that time. So anyway, it's just something that needs to be, I really appreciate all the work you do. I don't have time yet. When I do, I will be more involved, and I say that quite frequently. As a matter of fact, today I have to leave because I have 3 more meetings. Thank you for all your
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you.
Everyone's looking much, much nicer. You're raising it
Oh,
up.
good.
Thank
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tyler Cassell.
Hold on just a second, I'll get my timer out here. I'll time myself so I know where I am on my timer. Okay, good morning. I haven't seen you for a while, but here I am this morning, and I want to tell you that I'm opposed to the speed bumps that you're putting in. I think it's exactly the wrong thing to do. Speed humps or bumps, there is a definition difference in city code, by the way. It's a knee-jerk, old-school reaction for traffic slowing, usually made by people without any traffic control experience. So what I really recommend is you take them out, take all the speed bumps out of the community, and I'll tell you why. Here's some pros and cons. First, the pros. They slow traffic. They slow some of the traffic some of the time. That's it. There are no other pros. Let me give you the cons. They're annoying to all drivers and passengers. People call them those damn things. They're an eyesore and detract from the community appearance. They're noise pollution for homes that live next to the speed bumps, the constant slowing, bump, and accelerating after that. They depreciate home values by the speed bumps. They slow down emergency vehicle response when every second counts. Most people show little regard for the speed bumps. If you sit there, you'll see about half the people don't even slow down for them. Air pollution rates is twice at the speed bumps as it is anywhere else in the community. They're not cheap. You know the costs already. Most states require additional signage warning people that speed bumps are there because it's an insurance liability issue. They pose a safety hazard because when cars, golf carts, and bicycles converge at the same time, there's a safety issue there. This happened to us in New York. We had the same thing. We had people have accidents. Bikes tried to swerve by the cars. They hit the curbs. We had people have accidents. Most communities today that have put in speed bumps over the years have taken them out because they're not the best answer. They're old school. They're not the best answer. The best answers today are a combination of increased signage. For example, one of the best signs you can get is the ones down that they have south of center on Jacaranda, where you see your solar, okay? You see your speed and they flash speed, slow down. Those are the best. Post additional speed limit signs around the community. Bring out the traffic hawk or get some technology today. Install grooved pavement. When you pull up to some toll booths on expressways and so on, the change lane always has grooved pavement where you're boom, 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 boom. Those are much better. They're low maintenance. It's exactly what we need for places like the front gate, instead of that little thing that you put there now. And on Padova by Benedetto, speed bumps by stop signs are just utterly ridiculous. So anyway, I'm going to send you what I have here today. I just bullet pointed this. I'm going to send you this. In addition, I'm going to send you an article called "Speed Bumps Don't Work. New approaches challenge long-held beliefs about slowing traffic." Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Darlene Schimberg.
Good morning. I wanted to take and share some thoughts with you about the Welcome Center. I have been approached by some residents who were concerned about the idea of leasing or buying it. There is a reason that Heritage hasn't been able to sell it yet. I hope the board takes their time and does thorough due diligence before making any decisions on whether to lease or to buy that property. I worked in that building for almost 10 years, and it did have a mold issue back then. Maybe Heritage has fixed it, but I don't know. The building was designed by the same architect as the River Club, and knowing the issues we are currently having with this building, I would hope that you would have someone other than people on staff to do a thorough appraisal value of that building, both inside and out. On a lighter note, I love the new color of the River Club. I know we spent more than what we initially anticipated, but it absolutely looks great. I'm hoping that we now address the landscaping around the club, as there are many plants and trees that have died and never been replaced. I'm not sure if it is juniper or LMP, but note that even when they do put in new plants, they don't take care of them. And that, I think, is a real problem with everything. I mean, landscaping can come up with great ideas on how we want things to look, but if they don't maintain it, if we don't have somebody out there maintaining it, they're just gonna die. I mean, and it's a shame, because the landscaping committee does take a lot of time to itemize what they want. I am looking forward to having Hampton on board and hope that they will have an opportunity to speak with our staff. We have a wonderful staff. I want to thank all of them for their loyalty to the club, especially for their efforts in organizing recent events and maintaining our high standards of service. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the mention about staff. I think it's fabulous.
It's
Fabulous,
unbelievable how
They're
they
fabulous.
maintain themselves.
Yes.
It's just great.
They've stepped up.
Yeah, they really did.
Thanks.
Thank you. And our final speaker is Bob Knight.
Good morning. What I was going to discuss is on your agenda on the sixth item, number D. And it is the talk about, is the POA authorized to revoke or remove amenity access? So by statute, under 720.305 in 3, 5, and 6, it says that the POA can suspend privileges on accounts that are over 90 days old. The suspensions must be approved at a properly noticed meeting, and then a letter has to be sent to that parcel owner or tenant. So we're trying to clean up our past due accounts. And right now, the only thing we have is letters. So we'd like to institute this program. I know, and again, I know it's on your discussion.
Thank you.
There being no further speakers signed in, we're going to close out public comment and move forward with our agenda. We're going to move into item number 4, which are the committee reports, social and dining.
We're gonna do reserves first. We've gotten the okay from the others. Mark has got to take off from the island. So you're up, Mark. Can we get you to use, I'm gonna get you to use.
No, I got it.
We got it? Okay. Yeah, just so they can hear you online. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Mark Middlebrook. I'm the chair of the Finance and Reserve Committee. I do want to thank my committee for the hard work that they do. I want to thank our liaison, Ken Smaha, who many times just keeps us grounded as committees tend to stray. Want to remind the board of our mission and charter, which is to, we do a lot of work looking at the reserves and capital expenditures, making sure that they get in the right place. We spend considerable time reviewing the reserve reports, making sure they're timely and the assets are adequate to do what is necessary to do to keep this community functioning. We also work, we also take a look at the finances, make sure that additional cash and stuff is invested, and we just monitor all those things. We do identify items that have been missing from the reserve. I think I mentioned that we'll be doing a reserve study coming up within the next year. So we'll be modifying that existing report, and it changes more frequently than maybe it should. We review the financial statements. We're looking at income and expenses closely. I do want to thank one of our committee members, Byron Matson, who's sitting here this morning, and he recast the financials so we can make a little more sense out of them. So, and we can identify trends easier and see where some of the anomalies are relative to the financial reports. I am aware that this committee has asked Hampton to give us some FTE reports.
several of us on the committee manage businesses. It's absolutely impossible to manage a business without knowing what your FTEs are, what the budget is, what the expense is. And I've got to tell you, every month I've been a chair, which is probably 2 years now, we have asked for that information and we have not received it.
Okay.
Just don't know why. And there's other issues on those financials. I won't go deep into those, but we don't have time to go deep. Account receivables need to be actively pursued. They were not. I think there's a better effort being made now. There's just no excuse for that. I mean, just to get a hold of folks, there's no way. We got to get a hold. People may have excuses why they're not paying. I get that. But, and they may still be charging, right? So we just need to spend more time and effort on that. Really want us to focus on accrual accounting. We're not seeing that all the time. So that makes it difficult because particularly credit card fees haven't been posted that way. They should be. We asked why they weren't being done and we didn't get what I would consider to be an adequate response. So if we can get up to date on those, particularly as we close our books, right, and go into a new management firm, that would be wonderful. Committee would like to be proactively involved in the budget process if we can, be able to take a look at some things before, as they're being discussed and considered. Only to the fact that we spend a lot of time looking at those numbers and budgets, and we may have some ideas that may be helpful to the board to be able to make some decisions, particularly on priorities. So that would be nice. Some maybe broader recommendations. In my prior club, which at the time was a club corp club, probably did 51 weddings a year, right? And that facility wasn't as beautiful as this one. This is an amazing venue here. And I cringe, right? Every time my Venice magazine comes, I open it up and there's Plantation sitting there. And I'm just like, we have a great facility here. And we should utilize it on the days that, and on the months that we have downtime. Because it would help with staff retention, right? Adds revenue, maybe reduce some of the deficit that we have here. Maybe give more opportunities for work for some of the employees, so maybe they don't have to maintain multiple jobs. Maybe this could be their job. So I would like to see, and we've brought this up several times within our own meetings, and the challenge is you need a marketing person, you need to be able to incent that person, and that's not what this board does, right? This board hires. So you're going to hire Hampton and need Hampton to do that. And I don't know what direction we've given Hampton on that, but Vesta was not very interested in that. And I think we miss an opportunity to have whole lunches in here and celebrations in here and have more events from a revenue standpoint. So I think we're just missing that opportunity. And we could just have a better cash flow relative to that. And that's all I have for today.
I have a question for you, Mark.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, please do.
It's my account.
It might not be on now.
Okay.
I may have to consult my consultant.
Okay, all right, so historically, we have seen that inventory purchases are going directly to COGS. Would that be a recommendation that you make to Hampton, that they actually take the inventory purchases and book them to inventory? And then at the end, so the way inventory is calculated right now is Brian does his inventory at the end of the month, and we do accruals and reversals in COGS. And then during the month, all of our food purchases and beverage purchases are going directly to COGS. So you talk about the accrual-based accounting and recognizing costs. Would you make the recommendation to Hampton to take all of our inventory purchases and move them up into inventory, and then just let the physical inventory at the end of the month represent what COGS is supposed to be?
Well, it should be beginning inventory plus purchases less inventory. Your
Correct.
cost of sales, yeah.
Correct, but the inventory purchases right now are going to COGS.
Right. Yeah. Which is inflating.
It's not being done right.
It's not done right.
It's on a cash basis, not accrual.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, it should be
Correct.
on accrual basis.
It should be on an accrual basis. So at that point,
would you recommend to Hampton that we actually do it on the accrual basis
Yes,
to more
I
accurately
think we would,
reflect?
yes.
Okay,
Speaking as one member of the committee.
okay, great, thanks.
Well, we would support that. We think accrual is where it should be. I mean, we know it's a lot on that food. I mean, our food expenses, it's like
Yeah.
been the same for 6 months.
Yeah.
How does that happen? We don't have the
Right.
same number of people, don't have the same number of
Correct.
meals, don't.
Yes.
Why is that happening? You know, we don't know the answer to those.
Okay, all right, that was my only question, thanks, guys.
Well, I spoke to Byron a little bit, and I've been I looked into that this past month. There is definitely some issues with other events and how things are calculated. There's also ways how costs are being divvied up, like for the burger and brew night. We don't know how money is being allocated for food to beverage. The reports are showing that for other events, the cost per chip was $5.81 for food.
I know,
That's impossible.
I know.
I then found out that there's an other category which they didn't put into food, but do we really know it's food? And if it is food, why isn't it in food? I then found out that we don't have access to a lot of the Jonas reports yet still. They're under system administrator. System administrator has a whole bunch of reports that we don't have access to,
Okay.
which we need to get access to, because those are the really the fun reports that we would love to be looking at.
I'm looking
So
at
we
my-
don't have those, because I was working with Becky and we found, and Stephanie, and we found out there were reports that we don't have access to. There's also issues with like the alcohol was always running about 33% of the food revenue or cost, and all of a sudden last month it's 70%. So there's something wrong with the sales in alcohol. I think those alcohol sales should have been in food sales, but there's no way of tracking. And then the other big issue we have on tracking is there are tons of chits that we have each month that are closed out and saying they're being rerouted to a new ticket. But there's no way of tracking how that ticket, where that goes to.
And I don't want to get into this, we could talk for hours about it, but the only other comment that I wanted to make is I have noticed, and I don't know if this kind of falls under your purview or not, is there is an ID, a member ID in Jonas that's the staff account. There are those tickets that are being voided. So.
Oh, that's not good.
Correct, with no status and stuff like that. So I don't know if that falls under your purview or not, but I just kind of wanted to throw that out there as
Right.
well.
But there's tons of, we have a lot of tickets that are voided and then saying they're being put onto another ticket, but we don't know if it really is being put onto another ticket or they're using that as the catch-all
I was
of just
looking for
voiding it
staff
out
account.
and making them go away. So we don't know. So there's a lot of, that's the biggest one, is these miscellaneous voids to another ticket without any way of tracking if it was really actually on a place to another ticket.
So a suggestion I'd have, just sort of maybe also in the interest of time, and I think there's a lot of topics, is
Yeah.
that,
That's why I just.
you
wanted to
know,
mention it.
between Ken and the very smart people we have on our finance committee, I think Hampton was gonna welcome raising these questions. It could be there's something either in the
Right. I'm hoping
background
so,
on
yeah.
Jonas or whatever but I think they'll appreciate you sensitizing them to what the issues are, and then there can be a dialogue on how we get it fixed. So.
And also, if you're generating reports, can I get copies of those? Because I know, Byron, you sent it to me once, but that was a good report. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
You know,
Send it to the whole
I'd
board
love
if
to
you'd
see
like.
those, yeah, perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
But I don't know, Byron enjoys being in the statement preparation business.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Maybe he loves it, and so we don't care if someone else does it, but I think we're anxious to have an opportunity to visit with Hampton and discuss with them the types of information they can provide and the types of information that we would like to be able to do a better analysis of what's happening. Those things would be good.
Maybe just one final thing, and for the supervisors as well, is as I've talked to Hampton through the start of the transition process, they definitely welcome dealing, I shouldn't say the word dealing, but, communicating and working directly with the committees on things that will help them get up to speed and make the processes improved. So they definitely welcome that. They're going to be here they'll be here, but you'll have a number of the team members here over the next few weeks.
That'd be
So,
nice.
yeah.
Because we invited the previous general managers to attend our meetings, and they either didn't respond or declined.
Yep.
So it was hard to have
They need to be there,
a
yeah.
direct conversation. Well, not
Yes.
every meeting, but it'd be nice to have some dialogue.
Every meeting.
I agree with Cheryl, every meeting.
Yeah, it would be nice, but we understand.
Thanks,
Thank
Mark.
you. That's-
Sorry to bombard you with questions.
That's so helpful, guys, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
thank you, guys.
Okay, next one.
Thanks, Nancy.
That was actually really helpful.
It was super,
No,
that
absolutely.
was super.
So are we gonna do social and dining?
Yes, yeah, you're up, Darlene.
Again,
Okay.
yeah, stand up so I can see, it doesn't make any difference.
So I'm the chair of the social committee, and one of the things that came up in our social committee several times is the games at the club during the season. I've given Jill a memo that outlines how we can manage the games during the season. While this is just an idea, it at least gives us a start. One of the key issues is the non-resident players. We have residents who are unable to join diverse groups due to our continued support of non-resident players at no extra cost to them. Our community, other communities charge non-residents a fee from $10 to $20 each time they come to play at their club. We would like the board to consider implementing such a fee. We also discussed gamers bringing in food and drink. This has been addressed in the past, but it still is an issue. And I know that they're coming here on days that the club is not open, so there is no drink or food provided at the time. But it still is an issue for them to be bringing it into the club because it's not allowed. We have several events recently. We have had several successful events recently, but again, one of the issues we are seeing is that outside guests are taking slots at events while residents sit on a waiting list. Prime example is the dueling pianos that's coming up. There are 19 guests for this event that are non-residents, while we still have residents on a waiting list. We would like the board to consider an additional charge when someone brings in a non-resident to an event. I don't know that this is done anywhere else. I haven't seen it, but I've heard from other people that there's a higher cost to the event for people that come in who are non-residents or bring in guests. So that's something I would like to look into further for you before, I make it. But I do think that we have to consider this because right now there's a long waiting list for some.
Can you also look at the possibility of having dual registration periods, one strictly for residents and then guests
With residents.
or then guests later on. This way, if residents fill up, we're done.
That's
Because-
something that we can look at. That's an alternative that we can absolutely look at.
Or both, because non-residents shouldn't be, everything's subsidized here, so non-residents should be paying a higher fee regardless.
Well, what's happening here is that the resident is putting in the name of their guest because
Sure,
you're
right.
allowed to add guests to your list. So that's something we have to talk about. It's something for further discussion amongst the board, I think, and we're happy to do whatever you want.
And I think maybe that's, again, an area where we could get some advice from Hampton.
Hampton, yes, that's exactly what. We also wanted to bring up that I know that hours were discussed in your workshop, and the hours that were suggested by the previous general manager was put into place, and it did not work at all. It was very, very labor costly. Let's just put it that way. I mean, we had people standing around doing absolutely nothing for several hours, and it just was not productive. And it really kind of gives you a feeling, we're not trying to just pad people's hours. We really want to make them productive when they're here and have them doing something that we need. The chef is revising some items on our menu for the fall and has some great ideas for future cooking classes, which have all sold out every time he's had them. If you have not taken the time to attend one of these classes, it's great fun and you get to meet new people. That's the one thing I really like about it. I meet residents that I would never have met before and sit and discuss things, so it's really positive. We have created a spreadsheet for Jill to provide Hampton the listing of all the events and entertainment we have scheduled through May of 2026. We felt that this tool would show our interest in the success of the club, the diversity of the programs, and give them an idea of what we feel would be of interest to the residents. Last, we would like the board to review the hours for Christmas Eve for both the Tiki Bar and inside. Suggestion was made to open from 11 to 2, both inside and outside, to allow employees to spend time with their families. Thank you.
Quick question for Andy in regarding to the $10 or the fee for the non-residents. Do we have to make that part of our rulemaking process because it's not included in our rules right now?
Work on it, those.
And,
Okay.
and charge
Okay,
them
thank
more, and charge more money, is that also a rulemaking thing, or?
I'm talking about the games right
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry.
I'm just specifically talking, because that seemed to be a little bit more definitive than the non-resident participation in meals, right,
And we-
and events.
And I think we all know this, but we need to make a differentiation between non-residents, period, and non-resident members, because
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, non-resident,
you
yes,
do have the ability to purchase.
yes.
Non-resident members,
Non-members. Non-members is what we want to call it.
and while we're talking about that, just so you know, I was gonna bring it up later, but we did place the ads, we're all set for the rulemaking hearing in October.
Okay.
So the October 27th meeting.
Okay.
And I made the ads, as I typically do, expansive enough, because I know that sometimes we have some last minute ads, and additions and such. So,
Great.
so yes, we should
Thank you.
do that, and yes, we can do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darlene.
Thanks, Darlene.
No problem. Right, let's see. Oh, you want a thingy? We got it?
Fitness and pool?
Hi, I'm Nancy Spakowski. I'm the chairperson of the Fitness and Pool Advisory Committee. So, a couple of things. You probably all know that there used to be a manager of fitness, pool, and tennis about 5 years ago. And then when the money was decided to be diverted into having just a manager of tennis for the last, I don't know what it is, 4 or 5 years, we have not had any manager of the fitness and pool areas. And that has, in general, been the source of most of the issues that we discuss in the Fitness and Pool Advisory Committee. There just hasn't been anyone employed by the management company to manage that area. And hopefully with Hampton coming in, there'll be some changes in the organizational structure, so there's an actual manager of that area. Another thing that came to my attention, as Mark mentioned, the committees don't look at the budgets or aren't asked to look at the budgets, so we don't really know what's in them, and I think it was a good one in the future. Maybe the committees could get the draft budgets and offer some suggestions as to changes that are needed. But there had been 2 administrative part-time personnel that supported the fitness and pool area, updating Jonas when classes were changed, putting out the registration schedules in the hallways so people could tick off that they were arriving and whatnot. And my understanding from Vesta is that one of those people will still be employed going forward in a part-time position, but I do not see that in the budget. So I think that we missed budgeting that person's time for that administrative responsibility. It's a small number of hours, but unless I'm missing it and it's in some other category, it's not in the fitness budget. So mystery to be solved. So those are my overall kinds of comments. In terms of specific things that we're working on and that we've noticed, in the pool area, first of all, the way our committee is set up, we have a person on that's responsible for fitness studio, fitness center, and lap and amenity pool. So each time we have a meeting, that person gives a report on issues that they've noticed in each of those areas. So in the pool, obviously, you know, the heating and cooling has been an issue that's now solved. And it possibly as a result of that, but we're seeing an increase in mold around the pool areas. And I think it's just if it's too hot, maybe mold is growing. And so we've asked Vesta to address that mold situation. In terms of the furniture story at the pool, we had some items that required repair. 2 dining chairs, a lounge chair, some umbrellas. This came up last May. And in an attempt to determine how much it costs to have those repairs done. And working with Becky, she couldn't find the invoices. We didn't really know what had happened. So I asked for an inventory of everything that was out there to determine if we actually had those items here, or if they were at some repair place and never returned, or otherwise. And when that inventory was done, we ascertained that the items that needed repair were sort of stuffed all over the place, never sent out for repair since May. So I think as you saw this picture before, one of the repair items was just thrown in the mud. And I personally picked it up and put it back here on the lanai. Well, that item now is sitting in a different mud location, awaiting repair. We can't have stuff that we pay a lot of money for, shoved into various places, put in mud, under other stuff, etc. So we're gonna have to deal with being able to store these things until such a point as they go for repair. But secondly, they actually need to be repaired, and it's been 4 or 5 months that they've been sitting in these various places. Finally, out of frustration, the committee called some places and found the vendor that we actually bought some of the umbrellas from that does repair services. So our plan is, or the management committee's plan is to send out those 5 umbrellas that need repair to this company and then deal with the other small items later. But when we did the inventory, we also found that we were missing 1 lounge chair and 1 small coffee table. So they've disappeared. So that's just something that's an issue. I don't know what we do about that. So that's the furniture situation in terms of the repairs. We have also asked the management company, this is going back to May, to do an inspection of all the furniture to ascertain if there's other furniture that needs repair. These are only the items that are sitting in the random places, or only items that somebody who sat down noticed a hole and brought it up. So we've been waiting 5 months now for that full board inspection to take place so that we can ascertain if there's any other pieces of furniture that do need repair. And we'll see if someone gets to that or if it falls into Hampton's
I know.
lap.
Jamie was out there cleaning stuff a week or 2. Why can't, in between lunch and dinner, why can't he just go out and start taking a look?
I don't know, you could ask management.
Jamie would probably love to do it.
Yeah, I can see Jamie
Yeah.
enjoying that, yes. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's necessary. I mean, we don't know if we have warranty claims that we could put in if we could find out that things are prematurely not holding up, or just items that need to be sent out for repair at the same time these others do. So, yeah, I hope
Yeah,
that
but
Jamie
the
can do it.
furniture's not that, it's not that old. I mean, it's.
It's here now. A little bit here.
Yeah, but it gets a lot of use, and so we're gonna have things here and there that are gonna need repairs, especially with umbrellas. They're notorious for not lasting that well, even though they're expensive. So that is the pool situation. In the fitness center, we've completed the renovation of the fitness studio. We've completed the renovation. There are just a few other minor items that we need to put in or obtain that we've ordered, $500 kind of expenditure for small items. And we're going to want to do some reorganization of the shelving because we don't have enough good organization of the equipment in there, and probably buy 1 other weight rack. But we're in good shape on that, and everybody's very pleased with the work that was authorized and has been completed. In the fitness center, there were funds in reserves for expected replacement of cardio equipment in this fiscal year, the one that's ending in 2 weeks, of $35,000. We did get 3 new stationary bikes, which was less than $10,000. And so our next item that needs to be replaced is the rower. We have asked for quotes for rowers, but management has not had the time to get to that. So hopefully when Hampton comes in, we can ask them to get quotes for rowers, and that was incorporated in that reserve amount in individual rowers, less than $5,000. And then our next item that we'll be pursuing, not until the spring probably, will be treadmills to see what the cost would be of obtaining new treadmills. This would all be within that reserve that we didn't spend for this current fiscal year. Let's see, what else? We have an opening on our committee that we've had for a while, so anybody listening that's interested in being on the fitness and pool committee, we could really use an additional person. We would prefer anybody that wants to lend a hand, but in particular, somebody that uses the amenity pool would be helpful because our other members all extensively use some of the other areas. And I think the final thing I wanted to talk about is normally we have the fitness classes on a seasonal basis, a smaller number of classes in the summer, larger number of classes once season starts. Usually it's October 1. Vesta hasn't had a chance to establish the schedule for the new season. So when Hampton comes in, Cindy and I will be prepared to meet with them to go over our suggestions for next season. And so we asked for a communication sent to the community about a little bit of a delay, 2 weeks or a month, in getting that schedule up and running for the season. But normally people don't return until October 15th or thereafter. So I think not having those few extra classes in place as of October 1 is not going to be a tremendous problem. And so that's just something that we will meet with Hampton about getting here.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving forward, we're gonna move into staff reports. Our first report is landscape inspection services. The report is beginning tab number 1. John, good morning.
Good morning. All right, I'll quickly go over the inspection report. This inspection was conducted the 1st of September. During this inspection, I will say that Laurel Road, they were pulling out plants during this inspection. So that was nice to see. I do want to make you aware that I did drive it this morning after plants have been put in. There are a couple trees that aren't surviving. I'm not sure if they're in shock, but there's some dead leaves, so I just want to bring it to your attention.
So I can respond. We have talked at length about that. The problem is we don't have a direct water source to get those trees settled and get the air pockets out of the root balls. So you need a hose, which we don't have out in that area. So they are going to try bucketing water to do that, but they recognize it, and yeah, but thank you.
Yeah. Just bring it to your attention.
No.
There are usually.
I heard it a lot, so I wanted to respond. Yes.
There are, you can bring water trucks to help with that too, but I'm not sure if that's what they have or not. But the only other thing that I did notice on Laurel Road, since they were doing that, is just the pruning of the shrubs behind them. They have them roped off, but they're pretty high with viburnum and aloe-buki, so I just want to bring that to your attention as well. Moving along, one thing I did notice throughout the community, but it looks like it's been completed, is pruning of palms. I did notice a lot of palm trees have been pruned, especially here at the parking lot and at the roundabout circles, but I haven't drove every roundabout circle today, but I did notice palms were pruned in areas that I was looking at before. So as we're going along, picture number 18, I'm sure the committee is aware of this, but there is a Balanza Court, picture of a mature palm. I'm not sure exactly why it died so quick. I did notice a scar on there where it looked like it might have been a lightning strike, but I'm not sure.
It was.
It was? Okay. So, That's perfect. And I also have noticed quite a few of the new medjool palms going in. I would say on those are relatively low to the ground, so they should be able to remove those without the lift truck coming in. So those shouldn't have to wait as long, in my opinion. But other than that, they look healthy and good, and they're establishing nicely. Another concern is just some weeds on the back of the berms. I think I brought this up in the past. All along Venetian Boulevard going into the subdivisions. They do a great job on the front side of the berm, but the back side with the homeowner living right there, there's a bunch of weeds that seem to be popping up there, so. Picture number 27, I've noticed this before. I don't know if this is just an area that gets too wet, but it's an area that has been skipped before as well, where it's turf behind the homes of Mestre Place going south. But I'll double check that as I go out today. 32, this is something that I have seen on quite a few medjool palms, and if not removed, they could be an issue in the future, which are called strangler figs. It's not a great picture, but you can see that little, on 32, the little thing on the trunk right before the leaves there. If not removed, those will just get bigger and creep up the palm trees. So just want to make sure those are removed as well. For some reason, I'll get to the picture number 58. It seems like the landscape company maintains the landscape in the exact order that I do my inspections, because the roundabouts, as you come in, the main gate coming through the community to the River Club, all usually look great. But then when you get to these sections over here, most notably Avellini, Portofino, and Vincenza, there always seems to be weed issues. If you look at 58, that's a lot of weeds too. So I'm not sure if they're just losing time at the end or why every inspection of those seems to be bad, but everything else is good. So.
I rarely see those guys down on my end of the street. I mean, I live on Portofino. I live like 10 houses from the roundabout, and they're never down there. Right. I've never seen an LMP. I see them driving the whole community. I have never seen an LMP truck down there.
Gotcha.
They were there a week ago because we threw a little fit. After I did my drive around of all the cul-de-sacs.
Okay,
so you noticed the same kind of thing?
Okay, good, all right.
I'm like, those weeds were high as my knee.
Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Yeah. When is Juniper starting?
We do not have a date yet. However, we do have a new, what is his title?
They're, account executive.
Account
Bill.
executive assigned to us, which is Bill Gibb.
Okay.
So he's the one we've been calling. I called that day about the roundabouts. He had a crew in here.
Okay, well, I mean, I've said this before, a few times, we had them not cleaning up, and they actually did the last time when they did cut the grass behind my house, because it was so high, they were out there with blowers, and which is good. But we should not have to keep on having John do this and having red and then bold red, which means it's months and months and months. So my feeling is if we have to keep on paying John to get on their butts, we should have them pay for John to do that, not us. And then if they're not going to do something about this, I want to have a go out to bid, because I'm just tired of seeing the reds. And I understand that, if there's after a hurricane and whatever, and I get this, it can never happen. And individually things happen, but this is just month after month after month. And we're paying for a service, and then we're paying somebody to track a service, who then just doesn't come and actually do the service after we told them. So it's either they pay for it.
I agree with you. And what we're waiting for is Juniper is moving into their new, they had to move. So they're moving into their new building, which is a very beautiful building that they've invested in. And once that move is complete, they will probably make the transition, but they're kind of in the middle of all of that.
Can they give us a date?
I'm trying to get a date, Rich. I don't have one right now.
All right, because I just, it's just for the community's sake. It's just the money we keep on spending
I agree.
for the landscaping, and a lot of stuff, like somebody had mentioned that they put landscaping in, they don't maintain it, it dies, and all the, the $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in flowers that last for 3 weeks. It's just, something just got to give, because it just doesn't seem, it doesn't sit well with me. And I know you guys are doing a great, and I appreciate the job that what you and the landscaping committee are doing, but I know this is not really, this is
What were you gonna say, Belinda?
That doesn't prevent you from sending them a notice of deficiencies, which is typically what we would recommend, giving them a timeline to correct all of the deficiencies as noted on the report.
I think.
It really doesn't prohibit you,
Unless
that's something we can
Joe,
easily put
I'm fine
together
with
and
that,
send
since
out.
I can't get a date, I'm fine with the notice
Yeah.
of deficiencies using John's report and then.
Okay, I can get that drafted and sent out this week. I'll send it to you, Joe, for review before I send it
Okay,
out.
sure,
But
yeah.
Thanks,
we
Veronica.
can, we can definitely send a notice of deficiencies, give them a deadline. You also have the ability per your contract to move forward with having the issues corrected and deducted from their contract fees as well. So that's another option. So we'll state that in the notice of deficiencies
That's
as
a real
well.
good one. Well, right away, so if we can do that, John's report is part of that,
It is.
So we should be just back charging him right now for that, John's report.
Well, we have notices, but we have.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, once the notices go in,
Yeah,
okay,
immediately do it.
once the notices go in, we
I
should
think
start
this
doing
is a
that.
good first step. Don't forget, you got them out here doing a lot of other work too, so.
They had 8 crews out here the other day, so.
Yeah.
Trying to catch up, so they know, but I'm fine with a notice of deficiency.
Bill is taking this pretty personal.
Yeah, he's
All right.
like,
With, I talked to him the other day about, and John's exactly right about this side of the cul-de-sacs. I've called quite a few times to the old account manager, and it was just getting air. But now Bill is on, and he's taking it real personal. And so, when I talk to him, things are getting done, things are starting to move quicker.
I agree, I think the notice of deficiency from my perspective might just push Juniper to give us a date.
I think
Yeah,
so.
showing
Just
across the
one
bound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got it.
Is Bill gonna be the representative when it goes to Juniper as well?
Correct.
Yes, that's why he is. He is the Juniper representative, not the LMP representative.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, I, just so you guys are aware, I have worked with Bill Gibb at a company. So that is encouraging because I've
Yeah.
worked with him.
Good, okay.
He's been the.
As an account manager, we were both at the same time as
Yeah.
account managers.
Should.
He's more seasoned and should be able to
Yeah.
help you out. So.
When you talk to Bill, and I'm just sort of, letting John too, the Marcello Monument, as you're coming up Passaro, after you just passed under the power lines, it's a mess. The Eutropha, I think it's Eutropha, is like falling over, and there's weeds, and it looks terrible. And the house next to it, they're trying to sell the house, and it doesn't, it's easy to whip by it because you just pass under the power lines, but when I see it on foot, and it's bad. So,
What-
I want to just, sorry.
And the first monument, when you come in, I'm sorry, you can't even see what the name is, because whatever.
Oh, it's Avellini.
Avellini.
Oh, Artisti, I think is the,
It's growing,
Yeah.
it's so high, you can't even
you
see.
can't read the
You
name.
can't even read the name.
Yeah,
And then like in the front by the fountain, the stuff is so high, you can't even see the water. I mean, if you drive by Willow Creek, they've got nice low stuff. And actually, if you look at a picture of what our property looked like when it was.
I've said that before.
It was low,
We used to have 2-foot high spouts too.
Yeah. It was low. This stuff was low, so you can actually see the fountain. Now it's growing, we have 3 layers of overgrown stuff.
It's part of the entry landscape
Yeah.
design that we've
But you
asked
still
for.
be.
And I've asked about the pumps out there.
In the meantime.
The pumps out there for that, right? And one reason that some of the flowers out there weren't lasting as
Yeah.
long
Mhm.
is that is a chlorinated water, and it was killing a lot of the stuff with the
Spray.
spray and all that. And I do have a call in to them to see if we can get those pumps to pump a little bit higher, so we can have a higher whatever it is, spout. And so, but that is something that, and we've talked to them before about the height of everything, get them down to at least a lip so that we can see the spouts.
I just had one more question for John. We've got, I think it's either 6 or 8 medules on the big circle, and they've been staked up for years. Do we still need those stakes? I mean, I think it doesn't look great anyway, but I'm wondering if we can just take the bracing away.
I would wait for a couple more months.
I would
And
too.
usually
Wait
it's
till hurricane.
one full season. And so we're almost completely out of the hurricane season, but this area tends to get them late. So I'd wait till November and then I
Okay.
think just be safe to do that.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to say it now and tomorrow.
Thank you.
Jill had ulterior motive.
Any other questions for John?
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Good
Thank
work,
you.
as always.
Rick, do you have anything to report?
Yes, I had spoken to a couple of yous regarding the speed bumps that are out there. They did cut out the halves that they inadvertently installed, but there was some questions about the one on Pissarro. My understanding, and I was working with Keith, and I drew up maps to show, sent them off, and I think he sent them to the committee and to show where they were going to go. So when they originally come in to install, they missed the one, and they were, on their contract, it said 7 of them, and so we figured out which one. So that's why that one went out there. So, but it sounded like there was some confusion.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of one
I
being at
did-
that spot.
Me either.
Me neither.
So,
Probably we should do a map in the future.
We should probably review the map in the future. But what committee did that go to?
No, it just went to you all. It didn't go to a committee.
Oh,
I didn't see it.
Here's where the 3
I never
lines
saw
that I
those.
had.
I didn't-
I don't recall seeing
I don't
that.
can we see those
Yeah.
now, please?
So I have to tell you, Rick, I know you cut back, the speed bumps, so that if you're on the opposite side of the stop sign. I will tell you this morning, as I was coming up here in my vehicle, a bicycle went around that speed bump into incoming traffic. I was turning left. I almost hit him head on.
Oh, wow.
He didn't stop. The cyclist did not stop. And he went into incoming traffic to avoid the speed bump, even though we did that cutout over by the curb. So while we were doing,
You can't fix,
right,
Yeah.
thank you. I just kind of wanted to give you some feedback this morning on the way here. It actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're gonna probably see that more than not.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? I mean, thank God I caught him at the last second, but somebody's not gonna catch a cyclist.
Yeah.
But you know what? The cyclist has to have, you've got to bear some responsibility for your own stupidity.
Well, I was trying not to use that word, but yes.
I mean, I used to ride,
Yeah.
I used to ride in downtown Boston. I used to go to, because I went to college in Boston. I used to ride my bicycle all through Boston. You got to, not only do you have to be careful, you have to be 2 or 3 times more careful on a bicycle than a car, because you in a car, you're gonna lose.
So what do we want to do about the Pissarro bump?
Well, I guess I would rather see speed humps in the middle of Pissarro.
I would not at that site.
Not at
Further
that
down
site.
the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could add them, where that stretch of the road is wider like Benito, so that would be 3 bumps.
Like a pillow.
Yeah.
It'd be the
cushion, like the cushion further down, like the.
Yes.
The cushions,
Just like
yes.
what we have on Benito and the other part coming
Part of
down.
Pissarro, okay.
So could we take out that bump and add the cushions?
We can do anything you want.
I mean,
Speed tables.
Speed.
No,
No,
it's
just
not
tables.
speed
No,
tables.
similar to what
Tables
we've got, the
aren't
cushions.
readily susceptible by
Yeah.
the city and the fire department and all that. They want the speed cushions.
Okay.
And we would need signage, is that correct, at the?
In the
at
middle
the
of the
cushions.
blocks, yes.
Okay.
we would
Yes.
need to have
But
signage.
not at the stop sign to me, because the stop sign is already there. So the ones at
That's
Padova, for example, there's already a sign there. So-
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so we're good there.
So are we agreeing to remove
Yeah.
the bump?
Mhm.
So I'll make a motion to remove the bump that
Second.
is at Pissarro and Veneto, and to add speed cushions to Pissarro in the wider area by the pond.
Second,
You want them, so by the pond, you mean east of the
Could you bring us a
golf
drawing? Can you
course
bring us a
the
drawing?
entrance?
Can you bring us a drawing of where they would be to the October 6th meeting?
Yes, so you
Then we
don't want
can
them in
all know.
front of the golf course.
Yeah, which pond?
Yeah,
You know, because we do have ones just the east of the power lines.
Yeah,
We
I
do
would
have some
like
there.
it east of the golf club itself. So east of the golf club,
right
there's
by
a
the
pond.
18th hole.
Right by the 18th hole.
Across from the 18th.
In front of
hole.
homes.
Yeah,
Which is,
yeah.
so you go 18th hole pond drive, road.
Yeah.
That's kind of where they would, either that or,
I'll go get a map.
thank you.
But we have a speed indicator there already.
I would put the back.
It doesn't always work. That one doesn't consistently work.
That one's been out a lot.
Yeah, I would put the speed bump before the golf course.
I know.
Because this way you can-
Pissarro and, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry,
Just
to
for the
remove the bump by Pissarro and Venetian, and to add a cushion to Pissarro near the 18th hole.
Okay.
So she's asking us to get a second before we have our
Yeah, I
discussion.
want
Yeah.
to see them.
Well, there's
I'll give a second.
Oh, there is
You're in
a second.
discussion.
Where, okay, oh, okay.
I want to see the exact location.
So I'll show you what I'm thinking.
And describe it so Ken can
Well,
understand.
let's-
Yes. I'm talking right in here, right across from pond, like right at like pond 27.
Exactly.
So that Ken, that's
That's
the
what I'm
one along where the green.
I know what you mean.
So that's pretty much where that's pretty much where the speed indicator is.
No, speed indicator's back before the homes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
speed
think that's
indicator's
perfect.
back up
okay.
here.
Okay.
So I'm thinking right, like by pond 27, like 6 homes in, as long as it doesn't bother their driveway.
Yep.
That's what you're thinking, Cheryl?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Would it be acceptable to be at the storm?
Well, somewhere in that vicinity.
The curb's right there. If I have it where there's a valley, people may tend to drive up and down.
Yeah, so wherever it's a common, like I don't want it to interfere with the storm drain, the drains at all.
That
Um,
space would be good.
That somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah, we do have the one past that, at
Right,
At
under
least
the power
the
lines
limits.
here.
right at those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
limits.
okay. Oh, even better,
So on the big map,
on the big map.
right there.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's before you're actually looking at the 18th grade. Should we
So we're gonna
also?
take this one out.
Yes.
Yes,
And put one in.
that's the bump at the stop
Right.
sign, Ken. Yeah, which you haven't seen.
Yep.
My question would be, as a courtesy, I think we should consider notifying homeowners.
Well, this would be one of those, we need to get in front of things. So I'll add it to the list.
I would
What we're
do,
getting
I
in
would
front
do it, I would do it before that. I would move it further
You think before the home?
before the homes.
Right,
This way,
historically, you've been
people, this
concerned
way,
about
people.
trailers making noise.
Yeah, because this way it's not affected, it's not affecting property values, and it also slows them down before they get to the home.
Wait,
Because that's the thing that we really
Wait.
want to.
There's driveways there into the golf course. So that is, if you go just west of that pond, there's small shrubs and then there's an entrance to the back for the employees to the golf club there. And then another 50 yards west of that, there's the main entrance. And then another 50, there's like
Another
four,
drive- There's too many driveways.
there's like 4 driveways that go along there that might prevent us from, so we just gotta be strategic if we do that.
Can I suggest in the interest of time, we
Yeah,
have Rick
absolutely.
take a look at it and say, these are the possibilities, but there's a downside to X, Y, or Z.
When we put this one in right through there, just east of the power lines,
Yeah.
one of the board members actually met with the residents. She had 3 young kids. She said, please put it here. Because she wanted to slow them down.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But they
what that-
do make some noise. You've heard, especially the vendors coming in with their trucks. I mean, it makes them bang, bang. So outside of that, if you don't get the residents' approval, then you could be facing some challenges.
So you can have a look and give us some options.
Sure.
I'd rather have us,
I
not
think
act in
we're up
haste
and
and repent in leisure.
So I'm getting that questions about putting some here and a stop sign
Is that
here.
Cipriani
Is that
for
Cipriani's?
Ken's? Ken's benefit, that's Cipriani.
Cipriani. And I've had, people call me and say,
Wanting them.
how come we can't get one here? And, I've had different people
And
throughout the property going, how come we can't get one at our stop sign down past where you live at the intersection here?
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
people don't ask him.
We want speed bumps here. So it's, and then you're gonna get, damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, I
but-
think we need to be careful with all the side
I
streets,
agree.
frankly.
I do
mean,
too.
I think that the one on Cipriani makes sense because
Yep.
it's the main drag.
I agree
So I
100%.
think the same speed bumps we now have at Padova make sense at Cipriani.
See, because
So-
because somebody said to me, said, why are you putting in stop signs? I said, because we need to try wherever we can to do something for the sake of safety. Because I'd rather have somebody be mad at me for putting in an unsightly speed bump than somebody getting killed. I don't want somebody getting killed on my conscience when we could try to do something to accommodate it.
So my suggestion then is that we have, Keith and Rick work together. You've probably had more input even than we have, Keith. And that way Ken will be back for the next meeting, so we're not leaving him wondering.
Yeah, I think we ought to look at this
Yes,
holistically.
I agree.
Right.
Rather than one at a time.
Well, your motion had two parts. One was to remove a bump and the other was to potentially.
Yeah, let's
add.
just get that one out of there
Yeah,
and
You
then.
still want that one out?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it gonna
Yes.
cost more money to get it out, without putting anything else in?
I would check with them, but, if we take one out and put one in, I'm sure that could offset.
Well, can I
very
revise my
easily.
motion? This is just part of discussion because I'm asking the question. Can I revise my motion to say, remove the one at Veneto and Passaro and put 2 in at Cipriani, or 3 actually?
There's actually 4 stop
Oh,
signs.
that's right, before at Cipriani.
Yeah, I'd be good with that.
Well, but I thought, I heard. you
I don't
say
think we know yet.
You wanted to wait. now.
Cipriani's on Benito, though why wouldn't we do the same thing we did at Padova?
I mean, that's completely up to you
No, no, I'm
guys.
talking to Ken, sorry.
Okay.
We can, I'm just suggesting that we,
Wait,
whatever we're going to do, let's do it all at one time, rather than bringing a vendor back multiple times to do one here, one there.
so let's not even remove it. I will just retract my
Okay.
motion
That's
and we'll just
where I
start
was
over next
going.
time.
Yes,
Okay, great.
I think it's a good idea. Personally, I think it's a good, but you guys, if you could continue to sort of, get your feedback and.
Okay,
We'll
I
look at
was going to have him paint that one yellow, so I'll just tell him to hold off on that one. Okay, I can do that.
Thanks.
Okay, the next thing I sent you all, I was out to look at 5 phases for slip mud recertifications, and I sent you all the raw photos, just so you could see what I saw. And I did certify those 5 because the deficiencies I found did not affect the operation of the system, so I could certify. So that has been done, but I do want to point out the deficiencies. I am going to prepare a bid, the package, to get some of them cleaned up. A couple things I do want to ask the board though. Some of those, when the weeds you were talking about, knee high, well, there was several ponds where the growth was tremendous. And so I had those, and I'm thinking that is your landscaper, so I don't really think I need to put together a part of the bid, the package, to do something that I think you're already paying somebody to do. And then the second thing is your aquatic vendor. If there's growth coming up between the skimmer and the box, that's something your aquatic vendor should be taken care of also. So those are some of the photos that I took, just so you could see, but I didn't want to include them in a separate bid because I think your contract is already requiring them to do that. And then there was one on, I think, pond number 1. That's the one, we've got minor erosion, minor. I would highly recommend aquatic plants. They're much cheaper than if you let it go and we have to do bank restoration. And pond number 1, if I know where that is.
Hey Keith, when does the new pond vendor start?
I'll bring that up here in my, they've started 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Because you said October.
Oh, that's one.
This is pond number 1.
okay.
They should have already started,
Okay.
so I guess they gave it.
And there's hardly any plants on that one, hardly any plants at all.
Where's that?
But down near the Medici and
Yeah.
Portofino on the
Yeah.
other side from here.
Okay.
And part of the loop.
The gate is in
Yeah. oh,
It's
yeah,
the one
that's
where
for
you
sure.
can walk across if you're
Yeah.
brave enough.
there. Yeah, if you're really.
Well, when I see those alligators, those big ones out swimming in the back behind me, I don't want to go anywhere near them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're big.
There were quite a few out there when I was out. I probably walked 15 to 20 lakes and they, you know, the alligators, when they see you and they jump the other direction, that's good. That's good. The ones when I'm out there and I'm walking the lake and they start swimming right at
Then
me
you run.
fast, I know somebody's feeding them. Because
Absolutely.
they'll get up so close, then they'll stop.
It only
Just
takes
about
once.
how far it would be for me to throw something. Those are the ones that I think, I wish people would quit feeding them.
I know.
Yeah.
They should stay fearful of us,
Yes.
Yes.
just like we are of them.
Okay.
There's one more phase that's currently due. I'm gonna get out there very soon. We have another one that's due in about a month or so, month and a half. So I'll do those, both of those at the same time.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
And that's all I have.
Any questions for Rick? Does anybody need a break before we move forward? Abby, do you have anything to report?
Couple items. Well, first of all, just real quick, I mentioned earlier, but we've got the rulemaking ad set up for October 27th. So we can talk about the credit card fees at that time and
Oh,
any
it's
other
October.
items.
Oh, I thought it was November.
No, October 27th.
Oh,
Okay.
or you
Have fun.
So in regard to that, Andy, do I need to get you updates or are we just good to go?
We've got the ads placed.
Okay.
So, but if someone were to request, what is it we're gonna be talking about on the 27th, Belinda would need it to
All
respond.
right,
to
Belinda,
that.
I'll send you
So-
a couple of updates. All right, thank you.
Okay, so the main topic of discussion that I've been working on is with regards to the transition, of course, between Vesta and Hampton. And the first thing I want to bring up is that I did have a conference call with Hampton's attorney on Friday morning, Silva. And Silva did provide a red line agreement late in the day on Friday. I've had a chance to do at least a once over through it. I sent it, I think the board was all copied on it. I do see a few things in there just personally that concern me. I'm sure you all have seen a few things if you've had a chance to look at it that might concern you as well. I'll just point out real quick, they are changing the provision with regards to our ability to approve the general manager from a shall to a may. That's my one concern. They changed the provision with regards to how they pay the monthly fee. We had it sort of outside the contract. They are now paying themselves. I don't know if that's a huge concern, but it's a change. They've added a limitation of liability. That's a big one on my end. I can't really live with that, so I'm gonna push back on that.
Liability regards to.
Anything with regards to the contract. I do not like limitation of liability provisions, whether we're hiring a guy to fix the fence or do this. They've added an arbitration provision, which I do not like for my CDDs because there's an argument that sovereign immunity protections are waived during arbitration. And whatever else anybody else wants to provide, I know that Ken reached out to me just by email and said he had some potential objections and or questions. Obviously, time is short. I mean, everybody's been very busy. They've been very busy. we sent it to them on September 2nd. Here we are on the 19th. We've only got, 11 days left. We need to get this finalized. They've been very great to work with. Silva, Jill and I have had many conversations with her. Very pleasant, but she did call me on Friday, like I said, just to give me a heads up on a few comments she was going to be making. And we talked through some of those, but some of these others we did not discuss. So I don't know how the board wants to proceed, but obviously time is of the essence. And so if you have any comments, we need to gather those up so that I can put those with mine and get back to Silva as soon as possible.
On them paying themselves, there's a practical.
I know that's how it's always
I think, for
been done.
example, we can, but I do
Yes.
think, for example, we can ratify it, right? So I think that, what I'd suggest if the other supervisors are okay with it, is that, if Andy gets the feedback, and I don't need to know who gave the feedback, between you and me, because I think we need to have it wrapped up before October 1st.
Jill, if you recall, when we had our discussion with Hampton, one of the items we covered was ratification of expenditures.
Yes.
Because this has been something that we've
Yes.
talked about for a long time.
Yes.
And we did explain to them that if they could provide, similar to the type of report we provide for ratification, if the board has any questions, then you can request copies of invoices once you receive that
Yes.
report before you ratify the expenditures. And they are willing to do that.
Yeah,
They did
okay.
say that that is something
Yeah.
that they would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, these are just things I'm pointing out. I mean, the indemnification provision, this is not something that you would necessarily take note of, but I need to make some changes there to protect our sovereign immunity protections. And, I'm just hitting on some of the, what I call low-hanging fruit, I guess. There's a lot of changes that they've made that I'm fine with, as long as you're fine with from a policy standpoint. So, like I said, I need to give my feedback to Silva and include whatever other feedback you guys have. I mean, they've waived the right to jury trial. That doesn't give me a lot of heartburn, but, these are just things
Right.
that are in there now.
Well, what if we, if you all are all right with this, it sounds like Ken's already provided feedback.
He hasn't yet.
Oh, okay.
Ken just
But
said,
Ken-
I have comments.
Ken-
and I
but
No,
said,
I haven't sent it, because it's a lot for me to type out. I've got about 10 areas, some of which Andy's already mentioned.
Would it be helpful if you go through those quickly so that they might not be duplications for the rest of us? Is that more efficient?
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I don't mind doing that, if you want to take the time.
I think it's actually gonna save us time if you do it, Ken.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Do you want to do that now?
Yes.
Okay. On page 3, under services, section F, I thought her red line, Andy, was much too broad. I don't know how we can now, I'm trying to find it.
With the 90 days,
Yeah.
you mean for the cutting the payment? As you said, it's page 3 of 38, okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it just struck me, the 90 days was too much too broad. I never agreed with the 14. I thought that was way too short, but I think we can't go 90 days without having an interim management, or there's got to be a way to narrow that down.
Can we just request 30 days?
Yeah.
We go back to,
Well,
that way it's
They
consistent.
can,
If you read their
they can
comment,
have 90 days for a permanent solution, but they've got to do something on an interim basis.
Right.
yeah, if you read their comment, they say, while 90 days may seem like a long time frame, Hampton has a very thorough hiring process, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I read that, and they understand it can take a while to find a qualified candidate.
So can we say a provisional solution within 30 days?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can craft some language.
yeah, good one.
Okay.
Keep going, Ken.
Okay, sorry, I was just making notes. In the second paragraph, I think we want to keep the right to approve the general manager that they pick.
Can we call it ratify then?
Yeah,
It's what we've always done,
Mhm.
except for the last
And
time.
I'm gonna say, if, you know, the fact that we all interview the GMs, this is not, I mean, if you look historically at what we've done, does it really matter, or should we let them hire the GM and then we ratify?
I think we should.
They've changed it on both ends, you know, so not only the hiring, but the removal. So whereas it used to say,
yeah,
the district shall have the right to approve the general manager, it now says may, and shall have the right to require the contractor to timely replace, it says to request the contractor to timely replace. So they made both ends permissive as opposed to mandatory.
But here's what I'd say about that though, is I'll tell you why I don't have a problem with it, because if we want the GM removed and they don't want to do it, you know, although I know it's a lot of work, we can say, look, you know, that the GM goes or you go.
I was just gonna say that we have a 30-day, they were basically a 60-day process with them. So,
I
yeah,
don't
so,
have a problem with it.
Right.
I
I don't
think if
either.
we have a good partnership with them,
I agree.
it's not an issue for me.
Again, I'm just pointing it out because
No,
it's a
yeah.
significant change.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if they're not gonna
No,
work with us,
I
if they're not
think
gonna work with
it's-
us to get rid of somebody that we don't
Yeah,
want, then they're not working for us.
Yeah,
Right,
anyway.
exactly.
In the overall
Anyway,
big
I
scheme.
agree.
I'm fine with
You all
it.
right with that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
okay. Page 4 under compensation. Andy, are you okay with the CPI for urban consumers? Or should there be something narrower for us, like a regional CPI or even wholesale price index? Because we're not an urban area.
Big spread.
Is there a big
They tend
difference,
to be
Ken?
higher. They tend to be more inflationary.
Urban is, yeah,
How much though?
I want to say.
But isn't there like a regional?
there is a
CPI?
regional, I believe that's what we have in our engagement correspondence with the district.
Yeah, for the district, that would make sense. I want to say like 5 to 7% difference. Not significant, but significant enough.
Can we change it to the same language you have? Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's a good rationale anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
consistent.
Okay, I believe ours is regional, but I'll confirm, I'll take it.
Good. Next thing I had was on page 5, 6A, Romanet I. I gotta find it.
Before you get to that, Ken, above it, they've added a late fee, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but it says the district shall pay
Oh,
contractor
sorry, yeah, I missed
a
that.
late fee
I jumped down.
in accordance with applicable governing authorities. I don't know what that means.
Wait a
Well, I
minute, but
don't
if they're paying
understand.
themselves,
If
why
they're-
would they be late?
Exactly.
Right?
I have the same comment. If they're paying themselves, why would there ever be
Only if
a
we
late
run out of
fee?
money.
Oh.
Is that what they're trying?
Well, then
to
we're gonna
guard
have bigger
against?
problems
Then we-
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah,
and say-
exactly. So I agree. Can we just take that back on? Tell
Yeah.
them we don't understand
I
it.
mean, if they're paying themselves, we get, yeah, and if we don't have money, then
Right.
yeah, we have significant issues.
Yeah.
And if they want it, if they
That comment.
insist on keeping it, then I don't know what that means. Is
Okay.
it 5%, is it 2%, is it?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And, well, no, insisting on keeping it, I still don't understand because they're paying themselves.
I agree.
So I don't want them to delay payment to themselves and we have to
Then
pay
go,
back.
ha, now you have to pay us 10%.
I don't think they're that devious.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ken, I broke your.
No, that's fine, I had that same comment. Okay, next one I had was 6A, Romanet I, again, I thought the red line was too broad, and, who defines reasonably necessary? It just struck me as being too broad.
I personally don't care, but.
But I think that's the way I read that, that's the district's decision
Yes.
on how long to give them.
I
So
agree.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's within 30
Okay.
days, so.
Yeah,
I didn't.
How I read it.
Okay, and then in Romanet 2, now it's termination without cause. Sorry, where am I?
The district can do it without cause, 60 days, which is the same.
Yeah,
as
no,
we
I
have
get
now.
that.
That's the way I wrote it, right?
I think I've got the wrong reference. There's one, oh, in the text. What the heck is it? Sorry. They use the term with and without cause that I think need to be capitalized because you just defined them.
In
In Roman numeral
I.
2?
I don't think they defined them, I just think they capitalized them because it was part of the title.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they were trying to make a definition.
But that wouldn't change the.
But
Yeah,
I
they
think it's
can
fine,
define
is what I mean, I think it's fine the way it is.
So it's.
Okay,
form
so you don't
versus
think those are
substance.
defined?
No,
All right, then I guess it doesn't matter. In D, I think we need to add some kind of a material cooperation clause, a mutual cooperation clause. The payables after termination.
Or would that be, I take your point, should it be more broadly represented elsewhere under, say, 7, as use mutual cooperation across the board, right? It's everything, not just payable.
This is after termination.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I get it. Well, yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean by material cooperation? I guess I'm struggling a little bit with what.
Well,
you
they're
want.
saying the district is responsible for paying, but, we may not receive it. We may not know what's out there.
Right.
And they're asking to be held harmless, but they need to cooperate with us to make sure everything gets paid.
why don't we just say to the extent provided to the district? In a timely manner, or something like that.
So they can't leave us with any unknown hanging AP.
Because that's something that, actually, I had a conversation with Silva in another section about the licenses and stuff where they are responsible, and she was like, well, that's cool, but if a notice comes in the mail and you guys throw it in the garbage and we didn't know about it, we don't wanna be held responsible.
Right.
So, we could use that same
Because it said
theme here.
irrespective of
Same language.
circumstance.
That
Oh,
says, to
yeah.
the extent provided to the district in
Okay.
a timely manner.
Yeah, fair enough.
we'll
Okay,
pay
that
it,
works.
whatever.
Yeah.
That works.
That's my feeling with
Yep.
contracts. If they-
Okay.
If they want something, just just reverse it back on them someplace else.
Mhm.
I can add something to that effect.
Okay. Next,
Thanks, Ken.
next thing I had was on, you mentioned on page 18, they added the arbitration clause.
Yeah,
I think, I personally didn't have a problem with arbitration, but I think before it goes to arbitration, we should we always put in a
mediation.
clause, a dispute resolution clause.
Well, I have a
So there's
problem. First of all, I agree.
There's something needs to be added where, if there's a dispute, what's the process for resolving it? Usually, the parties agree to a managerial dispute resolution some number of days before going to arbitration.
Well, I don't like arbitration for the reason I stated before, which is sovereign immunity protections don't always apply in arbitration proceedings. So I don't usually allow for arbitration for my public CDD clients. But I do agree that mediation is a good plan before you jump to litigation. So I'll put something in that regard if that's okay.
Okay.
for it.
All right, that accomplishes the same thing. And then with you on page 19, number 31, the limits of liability.
Yeah,
Basically, they're limiting the liability to their monthly payment, which is initially 117,600.
Right, I do not like that
So,
ever.
yeah, I mean, why not the actual damages as determined by dispute resolution or arbitration or mediation, whatever you're gonna end up putting in there.
I have a backup plan too, which I can talk to Silva about, but I do not.
I can understand why they wanna avoid, punitive damages and things like that,
Yes.
but
Yes.
the liability should be what the liability is.
Right.
Because that's what liability insurance is for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna address
We'll
that.
go with the Andy backup plan.
Yeah,
Okay,
That was it.
is that it on the contract side of it?
mhm.
And they did add, back on page 6, there was a indemnification provision. Again, I'll just add in our sovereign immunity protections. They should not have an issue there. Okay,
Was there anything else that, Ken, was that everything you had?
Yes.
And was there anything else you had, Andy?
I did want to point out, I just saw it, that, well, we already talked about the provision that they added about the licensure. That's at the bottom of section 12. And that's that language, provided the contractor or was aware or should have been aware of any related issue or violation and related correspondence was shared. That's the type of language I'll adopt over in that other area. I have a few little typographical things
Oh,
Yeah, there were some,
that,
yeah.
that I'll point out. Did the arbitration provision. We're waiving jury trial. Again, that doesn't give me a lot of heartburn, just pointing it out. We're waiving consequential damages and such, which Ken and I just discussed. Again, that doesn't punitives, those types of things don't give me a lot of heartburn, but the limitation of liability is a big issue with me. So that's it on the contract document. And then I'm on to the scope of services now. Exhibit A, they repeat the same language with regards to the general manager, but we've decided we can live with that.
Right.
Okay. And page 25 of 38, it's just a blank that's still there. It says contractor will perform a long-range cost-benefit analysis on the volume of outside use of the club and its impact on member uses and satisfaction no later than. And it's blank.
I don't,
If we don't have a specific deadline in mind, we can just say, like, in a timely manner.
6 months?
Yeah.
6 months? We could always extend it.
Well, what does 6 months, how is that?
why don't we just say annually?
Or yeah, by the end of the fiscal year. I mean, September 30th, why, I don't understand.
I think we want to, personally, I think we want to link it to the budget process.
Okay, so then maybe May.
Or January, February 1 or something.
Okay, all right.
What do you think, Ken?
Well, you've got, and its impact on member usage and satisfaction. Does that mean that it's to be covered in the survey?
I don't think a cost benefit analysis will be.
No, but
it all
how do you get
informs.
it? I don't appreciate I agree with the cost benefit analysis. I don't appreciate having the phrase its impact on member usage and satisfaction. How do you get that? Unless
Maybe it's
it's
gonna
covered in
be-
the survey.
It might be subjective from them on what they've seen in other communities. I don't know.
Well, volume of outside use of the club.
Yeah, exactly. It's outside use of the club and
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, you know what
impact-
this relates to?
External
Yeah.
events.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I would
Weddings
rather
and the like.
see this analysis sooner rather than later to see what we're gonna do.
Well, that's what I'm saying, 6 months, because they, give them time to get here, is that too long?
Well, what about the end of season? I mean, so April
like-
1st.
April 1st.
That would be 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
Oh, geez. I am kind of slow.
Yeah.
So I'm having 5 cups of coffee.
I'll say no later than April 1st of each year.
Yeah, perfect.
We missed the outside word.
The rest of the stuff was just some typo stuff through the end of Exhibit A. Exhibit B, I have no changes. Exhibit C, I just want to point out, there was a comment from one of the board members about SOPs. So Silva did add subsection N, implement. She says they have all sorts of SOPs. So
Yeah,
I said,
I'm
well,
sure
let's
they
make
do.
sure we're
Great.
referencing, so.
Great.
There's that.
Great.
The end of this one is where this shows up, which is in a couple of the exhibits about the travel costs. Again, just pointing it out. If we're cool with it, it's there. HR services, I want to tweak the indemnification language a little, and then the travel cost shows up again, just pointing that out.
Yeah.
And then,
They're not gonna have anybody on site from an accounting standpoint.
Well, Becky.
So then,
Becky.
But
They'll have, yeah, Becky.
because I thought that their proposal, I'd have to dig it out, had somebody on site.
They did.
Which was essentially Becky's role.
Yes.
Right.
And was
It
it
was a
you?
member relations
Person,
role or
yes.
something
Yeah.
like
And
that.
Cheryl, wasn't it you who, I thought you said that there was a property where that role went, and then
I think on my, yes,
when we were talking about this whole thing, so.
Well,
but I think it needs to stay.
Well, this is role
Yeah, I
specific,
think
but
this is, I actually, when I spoke to a couple of people that had their full-time people here, and then went to an amenities management company, they got rid of the entire staff, and there was big furor that there was nobody on staff
I
to
heard it
handle
from a
bills and
reference.
invoice or whatever else like that.
So maybe do we
And
need
they
to
were,
include
and they
in
were
here
upset by
that
that.
an accounting representative, AKA Becky's, is on site?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we should add
Well,
that because,
this would be like, if we want a Melissa to come here, it's
Oh,
gonna be cost involved.
right.
right,
I see.
Okay, so more of an accounting manager, not more of like I considered Becky to be a staff accountant.
Yeah, like member services.
And member
so,
services,
yeah,
staff
okay.
accountant,
I take your
yes.
point, Ken, so we can
Okay.
just let this.
And how often does a cat need to be physically present? That's what
Yeah.
Zoom and Excel
Yeah,
spreadsheets.
because she's
do.
not, you're a good point.
Okay.
So it's,
Okay. So,
Okay, well, this says accounting services.
yeah, it's very broad, that was my concern, it's
that-
very broad.
That's the only concern that I have, Ken, is that it's incredibly broad without the specifics
Yes.
about the accountant or a staff accountant.
Maybe we should say pre-approved. I mean, there's no reason that if they think they need to send people out by plane to come out here to do something and they want travel expenses, that they couldn't call Jill. Jill's not available, they can call me. I mean,
Okay,
either one of us is available pretty quickly.
Absolutely, that's
To
sounds good.
say, I just think a pre-approval process so that it doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah.
Not that it will, but it's a good protection.
so
Okay,
we just say, district understands that pre-approved unplanned travel may not be accounted for.
There were a lot of double negatives in there. Can you do that again?
Yeah, that's what I said. Thank you.
All travel costs and incurred in connection with the accounting services shall be paid from revenue of the club facilities in the event of a deficit.
That's pre-approved by,
Foregoing travel costs and expenses are in addition to those outlined in 5C.
just put it, as long as costs are pre-approved.
Yeah, as long as
as
travel,
long as approved by the district.
Which
As
is-
approved by district.
which is not something that is unusual that happens in business every day of the week.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wasn't getting on a plane unless I had some type of
You're right.
supervisor or manager approval.
Right.
So I don't think that's unreasonable.
I'll work out the language.
Okay.
Just writing needs to be
Yeah.
pre-approved. So do we have the same issue with HR services?
Yeah.
Yes,
Same thing.
same thing.
I think that's the only two places it shows up. But
It wasn't under marketing.
I don't know.
No.
So does this mean that Andy can take these changes and we don't have to reread everything and we can go with it?
I think that would.
Okay.
I'm very comfortable.
I'm good with that too. Yes.
And a big thank you to Ken.
Yes, thank you, Ken.
Okay, and so the other thing I just wanted to point out is, because Phil and I talked about this, one of the comments we received was attaching the proposal. But the contract has changed a lot of things from the proposal, like the.
Well, yeah, and we
like
don't
the-
want,
Like the
yeah,
profit sharing
like, yeah,
thing and
yeah,
all that,
but,
and we
yeah.
didn't want to have to go through that and double check that, things were cut out. So we just decided to leave the proposal
I
out,
agree.
since we felt we were pretty comprehensive with the contract.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
Yeah, agree.
That was my comment.
Okay, and it was something.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah.
Because when I went back and looked at what the Vesta
The old Vesta
proposal
one,
was
yeah,
versus the
yeah.
contract,
Yeah.
so many things were missed that I wanted to use that proposal as a backup. So can we just say that the proposal's attached, but if the contract takes precedence?
No, I think it's gotta be four corners.
Yeah, I
That was
agree.
my concern.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope we caught them all.
Well, I hope you all got.
It's just 12 months, we can
I'm just
renegotiate
doing
on
the
September
legal stuff.
30th
Well,
next
but-
year.
Yeah.
It's 12 months.
But not all-
It's actually 60 days.
But not, well,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you
I-
go.
Well, that's a good point, because what Justin has repeatedly said to me is, and if there's something that you guys don't like, we just amend the contract. They're very, it's.
I know we're in the honeymoon stage and all that, okay, but I have to say that Silva also was like, oh, I'm so sorry that you feel that, by whomever, you were burned in the past and this is a big issue with you, we wanted for you to help, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, no, I think it's
All the
good.
right stuff.
And I'm not expecting any issue, but I just want to make sure that if and when we all leave this board, that we leave whoever the next people are with a contract that is
Yeah, no, we're all trying.
full and
for the
legit
same-
and
we're all
covers
trying for
the
same thing.
basis.
Okay.
So I'll get back to her. I know her email referenced that we just accept all changes and then redline back the comments, so that's what I'll do.
Perfect.
Okay, that's one item having to do with transition. The second is, of course, that we had a letter outstanding there from our special counsel, Darren Kwam, to Vesta, requesting some records. He did not receive any response. I did not receive any response. The deadline was September 15th.
Right.
I'm not sure if the board wants to take any action now or wait until we see where we find ourselves after October 1st.
That's is that what you said? Yeah. I agree with Sharon.
Well, my other concern, and I'm fine with that, but we have to make sure that it's not just, and the expenses on one side of it, and I know we said that you sent the letter to preserve the records, but we should get all, I'm talking about the legit, all of the contracts, the bills paid for Cisco's and all those things, so we should have a record of everything that, the purchases that we did for
And
equipment.
I think that's great that you're saying that on the record here, because obviously we have a Vesta representative, and I know others are listening. But yeah, that's also, I think, something we assess on October 2nd. What did we get? What are we missing?
Fair enough.
So, it's it could be the same letter if we need be, but I prefer not to have to deal with the whole global issue. It's every record, every document, every piece of equipment, every check, every credit card receipt, or actually credit card statement that was charged to our cards. I mean, those are our records, and we need to have those for any audits going forward and for our own fiscal responsibility.
Okay, so we'll discuss it at October 6th.
That's all I got. I'm glad to answer questions.
Sort of the golf course, did we ever
Ken, I think I don't know if Ken has any update on that. We have not done anything further while Ken was talking with the golf course about the reporting.
No, I mentioned during the workshop that, I was waiting till I got back next week.
Oh, about the SWIFT, about the, no, not the.
Oh,
not
you
that-
mean about
The water,
that the
Swift money,
permit is,
yeah,
the permit.
that's what I meant.
I'm waiting for Ken to have his conversation with Paul.
Oh, was he gonna, I thought the conversations were in the Welcome Center, not regarding this permits.
I wasn't at the workshop, so
Okay.
I'm not sure what you discussed.
You're asking about the SWIFT funds.
But I know what you're asking about.
I'm asking about
and
the
I've
SWIFT,
been
yeah.
waiting, because I think Ken's having ongoing conversations with the golf club about where they stand with, because we did not want to jump back on the permit while there were reports missing and such.
No,
So I don't know what the status is of whether the golf club has got all caught up on their reporting or not.
Oh, they think they had, but they hadn't gotten confirmation from Swift One, so I'll follow up with Jay.
okay,
It's
Thanks,
on my
Ken.
radar,
Okay.
but I've been waiting on that.
yeah, it's been 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh, who's Ken? Okay.
So,
Spam call, okay. The spammer was
We're
trying to
keeping
get
you over spam.
Well, I have something for you, Andy. I think it occurred after, our last meeting, but there was an anonymous letter that was sent to the entire community. Oh, you did know about
I
it.
heard
That's
about it from
right.
one or two people.
Yeah, I wish they'd spent the money and donated it to the food bank.
Right?
Because it had to be thousands of dollars. But my question to you is, I took possession of the letters and opened quite a few of them. It was interesting because it was probably, there were a lot of people who were against the speed bumps, but a lot of people who said, we want more or we love them. Are these district records, must we keep them?
You should keep them.
They are, so, okay.
Okay.
Fair, that's what my feeling was,
Ship them all to Belinda.
preserving records,
There you go,
but,
give them all to Belinda.
okay.
Okay,
fine
so,
and dandy.
Keith, I'll give you all of mine.
No, because
I'll
I'm gonna win the
bring you
lottery.
the one that I got, because my mailman did not want to
So,
didn't deliver.
I'll
So,
just
you know what?
digitize whatever
I got
you guys
some of
receive.
yours.
So what Zach will do is he'll
I
just
got some of
scan
Jill's.
everything into our
Okay.
correspondence
I got
folder,
some
so that we have all
Pen.
of it.
Okay,
So, because the mailman knows me, he'd just take, every time he saw these letters, they ended up in my
That's funny,
mailbox,
'cause the-
regardless of whose name was on them.
That's funny, because I have a thing that I get a notification of all of my mail
yes.
every day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they were never on mine.
And they were on mine, it shows that they were on my,
Never ended up in
but
the
actually
box.
never actually winds up in the box, except the one that I
They all have
got,
the same.
the one that I got had the correct address, but it was to Jill.
nice.
Yeah, no, they all, so many of them came to me, so I'll give them to you,
We
Keith.
should save them, yes.
Okay,
Perfect, okay,
Thank
I thought so.
okay,
Preservation notice.
great.
Okay, fair enough. That was the only thing I think I had.
Nothing else? Any other questions?
Can we take a break?
Okay, sure. So we're gonna take a 10-minute break and be off the record at 11.
Okay, leaving you on here, Ken. Checking my battery.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, yeah, battery life over here. Okay, cool.
Yeah, me too.
And we are back on the record at 11:29 a.m. Moving back into staff reports. Stephen, do you have anything to report?
I don't have anything specific to report, but as all of you are aware, I've been on site the past week. I'm gonna continue to be on site all the way through the 30th and available to all of you guys. We also sent out communication to the residents, so the residents are aware that I have a contact for them. So just supporting operations and supporting our staff until the 30th, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you so much. I appreciated, the conversations and other things last week. So thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you. I wanted to thank you for everything that you did with pool and fitness last week during our committee meeting. There was a lot happening. And the only other thing that I want to mention, and this is no reflection to you, Stephen, is that back in August, we had decided that from a sanitary perspective, we were going to eliminate the bolsters and the blankets from the yoga classes, just because it's just not sanitary.
They were ours.
They were ours. So what we were supposed to do is we were supposed to offer them to the people that were taking the yoga classes. And then whatever we didn't have, we were gonna offer them to the other residents and then dispose of whatever was remaining, but that piece didn't take place. So, Stephen's gonna follow up with the yoga instructors in the next couple of days to get that taken care of.
Do we have to access?
Do
we have to access something of a minor cost, like a fabric bolster?
I think they were expense items to
minimis.
begin. They were expense items. I don't think they were ever considered part of like any reserve. So does that require a surplus at that point? I don't think so.
It's a tiny number.
It's a tiny number.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it were something, like furniture and things like that,
No,
but
it's
not.
No. Like, I'll call it perishable.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
word.
It should have been perished years ago. Okay, all right, thanks, Stephen.
And also, I just found out that, from Stephen, that Rolando actually is no longer here.
Okay.
So,
I'm happy you found something closer to home.
but I've heard other things, but before we get into that, let's just, if it happens, it happens. If not,
Yeah, so one more thing in regard to that. Stephen and Sam and Nick and I met on Wednesday of last week because of anticipation of Rolando possibly not coming back. We kind of set up a little bit more of a structure for Sam and Nick at this point, and what they're going to focus on is just maintaining the property. So special projects and special items and things like that, like Nancy's situation with the umbrellas and everything, we're gonna kind of back burner that so these guys can just kind of keep their head above water at this point.
Yeah.
Okay?
this one, if they have time, because I don't know what's involved in this. Rolando was supposed, it appears that we're thinking that the water usage here is still.
Nick's got that.
Oh, Nick's got that?
Nick's got that covered.
Oh, never mind, okay, never mind. Well, let me just tell you. Okay. So we're thinking that the water issue is now on the tennis courts is related to court 2, because the facility is determined that there's still an excessive amount of water being used as opposed to years past. So we're thinking that what might be is there might be some kind of leak in court 2, that the water's running, trying to bring the water up to the level of the turf, and it's not making it, and it just keeps on running, so we're gonna put in, there's a meter we can put on each pump or each court to see the differentials between the courts, and thinking that might be the issue, because it's still we're talking hundreds of thousands of gallons, which relates to tens of thousands of dollars in the course of a year. So it's still a significant number. So we're hoping to, if Nick can work on that and get that, and if not, then we'll go to plan B.
Yeah, so it's 1 meter, okay? And what he's gonna do is he's gonna keep 1 meter on each of the irrigation tubes for 2 weeks on each of the courts. And then he'll do the water measuring at that point and determine where the issue is. But we do think it's on court 2.
But the leak might even be before the meter. So we have to then we may have to go back and actually turn off all the courts and see if the meter's running with all the courts off too, because it might be a leak prior to that, so.
Yes.
But so there's a couple of things we're looking at, so.
Thanks for looking into that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Cool.
Keith, do you have anything to report?
Good morning, board. So as you know, our pond specialist has changed over about 2 weeks ago. Thank goodness. They have an uphill climb to get us out of the, what had happened. Also, the, part of that is the wetlands that the old company didn't get into the wetlands, all right, and do what they were supposed to do. They just did the perimeter. Okay, Solitude goes through the whole wetland. So you're probably gonna get some emails, some texts that, oh, it's dying out there. Well, it's supposed to have been dead, but Solitude's gonna, you might get some emails to that effect.
Actually, before we get emails, can you send out a letter to the community? Because a lot of people are complaining about the ponds and the wetlands, and let them know that we've changed our company and expectations that it's gonna look, it might look worse before it gets better.
Okay.
Great
I'll
idea.
come up with something. And then, so if you're getting emails about the ponds, if you want to respond back, Solitude is back. Give us a, they're gonna take, I had a talk with Liz, on Thursday. And, I was telling us, we got a lot of these ponds that are not looking good. And she said, Keith, I said, I know, I understand. You only been here 2 weeks, but we need to really get these knocked out. So they're aware of it, and they're working diligently to get that done. And I will put something out to the community about the wetlands. The speed bumps, I think it's, we've been talking about speed bumps for. Jill got hit pretty hard on Thursday from a resident about speed bumps, and
It's all right, I took care of it.
oh yeah, no, it was beautiful. I thought you handled that beautifully, but
You did run back in your office though.
you are right. I didn't get in the middle of this
miss
one.
that.
No, I was like, oh no. So, but we have been talking about this for a lot of years, and it's in a lot of the reports that has gone out about speed bumps. So it is, if somebody says that we haven't communicated it, there's been a lot of communication or talk from the boards about speed bumps. So now it's finally happening, and it's a good thing, I think, to help slow down a little bit, but we'll see how that all plays out. With the new, I'll work with Rick on where the pads should go, and he's gonna get that other thing removed on the other side. So we'll start looking at Treviso. I mean,
Just to add to that, all of your discussions regarding the speed bumps and your decisions and actions are summarized in the monthly summaries.
That goes out. I do.
Yeah, I mean, I limit some information because it's just so much, and I take a lot of notes, but the important parts are listed.
No,
in
the summary is great. I think I would just maybe
if anybody
add.
says that they were not advised or they did not know, they're getting these summaries.
Yeah, I think at the same time, I think the attitude I've always tried to take is you can always improve on how you communicate. So like, for example, we have other vehicles like parcels and some other things. So I think at the same time, I think you're absolutely right. I'd like to see us think about how we can always make it a little bit better. Because I think, so.
I mean, if there's something specific that you want changed on the summary.
No, the summary's
or
perfect.
you want a little more detail on there when we have the discussion,
No,
you tell me.
you may not realize, we get a lot of compliments on those summaries. It is so appreciated. Yeah, super.
And in regards to speed bumps, the one thing that, with the comment that was made was we should have technology, which is great, except when technology is an Uber driver or a Walmart delivery or whatever else who's not non-resident, we have no capacity to do anything with technology.
We, the CDD, don't.
Yeah, exactly. The police do, but that's a whole different conversation. So we can't stop the people who come in here and are on a time crunch from speeding. And the only thing that will slow them down is a speed bump.
Well, plus the speed bump is hopefully preventative. And anything electronic is going to be post hoc.
Exactly.
And that's what I said to somebody, because I was almost run over by somebody at the corner of Padova and Veneto. I mean, she heard from me because I was on my bike, and, you know, that's the main reason I think the speed bumps are of value, because hopefully they are preventative, not always, but they're not perfect.
I think they're preventative, because at least you feel as a pedestrian or a cyclist that you have the opportunity to react, because the car is not coming at you at 30 miles an hour like it was in the past.
Right.
And also, and I actually appreciate the sign on Pissarro, the flashing sign, because I make that turn
Yeah, me
and.
You're
of course I have it,
velocitizing.
And as soon as I see that, I go,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, I forget, and I slow down. So I appreciate the notification,
Right.
the reminder, thank you, of what's going on. So the speed bump does that, a flashing sign does that.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And anybody that thinks it decreases the value of the property, they need to take a ride on Casey Key Road and go towards the
Yeah,
jetty.
I don't understand that at all.
Me either. There are multi-million-dollar homes
Yeah.
with speed bumps right in front of their house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I have something for you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
At the corner of Pissarro and Veneto, on Veneto, I'm gonna show you the picture of it. On Veneto, here's the golf cart crossing, and then the golf cart path comes this way and the sidewalk goes this way.
Correct.
Between the golf cart path here and the sidewalk, there's a drain that is falling into the ground. And I don't know if it's ours or the golf course's.
I'll go take a look today.
So we had 2 or 10?
11.
No, right at the.
It's
Right when you cross the street.
So
Oh, that
sidewalk,
one.
there's a
Oh,
drain
I see.
right here.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's ours or the golf course's.
I'm gonna lean towards the golf courses but I will,
I think it's theirs, and they actually just signed a contract to have like 9 repaired.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
guess is that's one of them, but yeah.
Okay,
I went out and I looked at all the golf courses, drains, and I gave them a list as well of ones that need to be, taken care of, and, so.
okay, great.
And I just have one comment for Keith. I appreciate you being, great, getting up LMP and Cross Creek when they weren't doing their jobs. My only comment would be to notify us sooner when people aren't doing their jobs. I mean, you can be all over them, but we have, but if they're not reacting to you and you have to constantly keep on going, we're the people who could send out the notices and put the pressure on. So it'll help you to get the things done, but also not let things get to the point that they have gotten to in certain circumstances.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
The email that we got from somebody on Mar-a-Lago about sod on the banks, on the lake bank, is that no? I wasn't sure what that.
Yeah, she wants all of that. We took out, some of those ornamental grasses, and, the neighbors down the way had a pretty good area that was really bad on the bank, and so we had it resodded. All right, her area will.
I thought it looked good too.
Oh,
I looked at the picture and I was like.
you go over there and
That's
you
what I
look.
was thinking.
You go over there and
Thank
look
you.
at it, and you're like,
It'll grow in.
it'll grow in.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
yeah,
And so
Okay,
I would give it,
Okay.
until another few more months for it to grow in, but, that's those, well, they got it.
Yeah.
Well,
What about the bush trimming? She asked about trimming a bush. Yeah, there was a big bush between the property line. She asked for permission to trim it.
I'll go back, I
Yeah,
didn't read that part.
Yeah, it's at the
Yeah, I
end.
didn't see that.
yeah, I thought this looked,
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty.
If you guys get a chance to go up to, Mastery Place and look at that cul-de-sac that was planted.
Okay,
We're gonna be putting in, we'll be putting down I'm waiting on for some, irrigation to get fixed there, but we'll be putting the mulch down, right? And, you okayed basically, I guess Cheryl will be bringing that up a little bit later about the cul-de-sacs and, that expense, but, it looks really good. And we added some to a buffer over here that, had died and we had to have, removed at no It wasn't an LMP error, it was just, they died. You know, they'd been there for 20 years and 7 of them just died, they had to get replaced, so we replaced them but it looks good. I think that the cul-de-sacs, that's gonna be it's an inexpensive, but a very,
Significant.
nice, it'll, add to the decor of the cul-de-sacs for those 4 or 5 people that live there.
Keith,
Yes, sir.
a couple of things. One, just to follow up on the Mar-a-Lago, are you gonna respond to Stacy?
I'll go over there and talk to her, sure. I'm gonna find out about this bush that she's talking about.
Pretty big.
Yeah, it is big, but I don't know where it is, so. Any update on the Valenza Loop water pressure issue?
Yes, so we're gonna, I better go take a look at it. Thank you. We're gonna have, LMP cut out the valve or the valve there and kind of rotor-rooter it a little bit, for lack of a better word, and replace it. That's really the only, because when they were there on Monday of last week or Thursday of last week, they put a pressure gauge on that thing and he had 85 pounds worth of pressure coming out of the end of that. He's saying that when his time is for actual irrigation time at 2 or 4 o'clock in the morning, he hardly gets anything. And there's only 1 or 2 people. He's saying that the people across the street are, and the person next door is the same thing. Well, if that was the issue, you'd have the whole block.
Right.
You wouldn't be getting any. So we're trying this, we're gonna cut that out just to narrow it down that it's not us.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
There's 4 houses involved.
Yeah, because there's gotta be something that splits off the main lines that go to the houses.
So we're gonna rotor-rooter it and see, but other than that, there's not a whole lot more that can be done to facilitate, I'm at a loss of really what to do any more than that for him.
Let him order his lawns Monday, Thursdays during the day.
Well, or go to a different night.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, can we just put them on a different watering cycle? Then,
Or go, rather than 4 to 6, go from 2 to 4.
yeah.
But, we'll start there
Okay.
and then we'll,
Because I think we've said he's good, the pressure is good one night, but it's the second block that's not as good.
second block was fine.
No, the first block was one block was good, the other block was not good. Which also
Well,
doesn't.
that says it's not us.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Okay.
But this guy's replaced everything he's replaced everything in his equipment, he's replaced.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna experiment by taking that out first and then do the rotor-rooter thing and we'll go from there and then.
And just let him go different night or just water during the day.
Well, if the pumps are on during the day, but they don't.
Yeah.
No, I'm wet check days.
Oh, yeah.
Let him
Don't
just,
start that.
well,
It's a slippery slope.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
but if you can't solve the guy's problem, at some point you've got to come up with something creative versus spending another $50,000 to do something you don't even know it's gonna work, so we don't even know what the problem is.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
On my end, supervisors, just as a reminder, our next meeting is scheduled for October 6th, 2025. I did receive our insurance renewal package. I received it on Friday. We're a little bit short on time. I did send the package to Jill with a breakdown comparison, which I'm also gonna provide the board, because this is gonna be on the agenda for ratification at the next meeting. Our insurance costs are under budget by $5,831.
Yay.
So that's some good news. So I'll send everybody a breakdown. I am gonna ask, because I did quickly review the property schedule because I wanted to get this in Jill's hands as soon as possible because our renewal date is pretty much at the end of the month. If anybody notices anything that we might be missing on the property schedule, let me know, and then what we can do is just file it under an endorsement after. But we just want to get the renewal in.
I mean, do it, that's great. I'm also gonna say after the Hampton contract is signed, line it up with that, because we changed a little bit of coverage there that they are actually taking on, because there was a concern that, well, there were two concerns. There was a concern of what if we let it lapse for whatever reason, which of course we wouldn't, but also that we cannot add them as an additional insured, as you know. So they took on some of the coverages, and I said, great by us, so.
Perfect.
It might impact what you've got there.
Okay. So if there's any changes, then they can obviously be made after the fact, and if we have to add something, we can add it via an endorsement. But it was very, I wasn't too happy with just receiving the renewal Friday morning, and I did express that to Aegis. There were some things that were missing from FIA, that's why they had not sent us the packet yet. So I'll put this on the agenda for ratification at the next meeting, and then everybody can take a look at the property schedules and the entire package and let me know if there's anything that needs to be amended. Any questions for me?
Just a quick question. So I think we left the meetings, the two meetings, both in November and December, I think. I think we talked about that at the last meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
We
thought
did.
so. Okay, all right, that was all I had.
All right, one thing I did want to add is, since things are calming down a little bit, we're gonna make some changes to the website. We're gonna start adding pictures. I think the building looks so beautiful, the old picture that we have on the website. It just doesn't look great now that you've made so many great changes. So Keith is taking pictures of certain things for me, so once he finishes with all of the photos, I have the pictures of the building, but I want, several pictures that can probably flow through the webpage.
Nice.
So that will spruce it up and make it look great.
Cool.
So I'll send those over to school status, and then, I think, hopefully before the end of the month, I'll get everything uploaded so that, we can make some changes on the site and improve the view.
Okay, good. Yeah, that, maybe I can piggyback on that. It's occurred to me, I think, and maybe we want to wait until the landscaping is redone, but I think because of the new color of the club and other, the new parking lot, I think we should think about having somebody, like I've found somebody through one of the realtors who lives in here who does, glamour shots. I think we should have, it's probably time. So I think what I'm gonna do is get a price and bring it to the next meeting, just to find out, we can get some drone shots and that kind of thing.
Well, if you want me to hold off, I can, because school status can do this really quickly. So if you decide that you want some professional shots, that'll be great too.
Yeah, I'll bring something back to the next meeting.
I think you should do it, it's fast.
You mean my iPhone
Yeah, I
wasn't?
think you should just go ahead and do it.
I think you should do it with Keith's pictures, we can always update them.
True,
That'll
that's
take a
true.
while.
That's
Yeah,
true.
sure.
And better.
And to wait for the landscaping to be done, I think
No, we
that-
can't wait for that.
that's gonna be a while,
That's
so,
gonna take a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can always update some photos if we need to later
Yeah.
on. But when you start taking like the tool shots, whatever, of the new building and the
Yeah.
colors, that's never gonna change. So you really only talk about the.
That's fine.
front
Yeah,
shot.
fair enough. We can just add some for the landscaping. Yep, I'll go ahead and get a price on.
Okay, good.
Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So moving back to our agenda, we're gonna move into our business items. We do have item number 6A, which is the review and approval of the pickleball and tennis furniture. This is behind tab number 2 for your review.
That's me. Okay, so with this, there is one estimate in there, a quote that's in there for the 7 umbrellas, okay, to the tune of about a little over $4,000. And then there's the Tropitone that includes the tables and the chairs. But what is not included on this Tropitone estimate is the fact that we actually still need 3 bases for the umbrellas. We have 4 that can be redeployed, so we need to purchase 3 of those. The other thing that's not on this invoice, and it's not gonna cost a lot, is sales by the pickleball court area to put over for some shading. So with those things being added in, and the fact that I think the Tropitone quote is not gonna be good anymore, I am gonna ask for a not to exceed of $27,000.
I got a couple of questions.
Uh-huh.
Where is all this furniture going?
So the furniture is going, so we're gonna remove the furniture that's between the tennis courts right now, okay?
Okay,
We are going to take out the grandstands that are at the tennis courts at court 4 and 6, if I think I got those
It's
correct.
court 4.
By the
Four-
shed.
four and
By the
six.
shed, the two- and we're gonna put umbrellas and chairs and tables there, so we're getting rid of that. And then we're gonna give the pickleball.
Nobody ever sit there?
No.
Yeah.
Nobody sits there.
Nobody ever sits
Nobody
there.
sits there.
Nobody sits there because of the grandstands, so they wanna give this a try,
It's an expensive
Very
drawing.
It sure
expensive
is.
okay? Okay,
I just,
all right,
I don't know. I agree with you replacing the furniture that exists because it needs replacing in
Okay.
both areas.
okay.
The grandstand area, well, people, how many people actually come and watch? That wouldn't sit in the middle.
They wouldn't sit in the middle, yeah.
They sit in the middle or
Okay, so do you want me to take 2 chairs, or 2 tables and 8 chairs off of this? I'll have to take that back to the
And
Rackets
where's the stuff for pickleball going?
right on the pickleball
Where it is
papers.
now.
Okay.
That stuff's,
But
that's hand-me-downs.
Okay, I know, but there's really, so if you're gonna put a lot of furniture there with umbrellas, how's it gonna affect the grass and everything else there?
There's already an umbrella, one table.
One table.
Yeah, so,
3, 4, like 6
so you're only
chairs.
putting one table, so not a lot of furniture's going by pickleball?
2 tables are going by pickleball, I think 8 chairs, and those 2
Oh,
tables will
okay.
have, yeah,
All right.
no, we're
Which
not,
is perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I
And then
thought
we're-
most of it's going by pickleball. Okay.
no, the majority of the stuff is actually going down the middle between the
I
courts.
mean, not that I play or whatever, I see more people hanging by pickleball than I do by the tennis.
Well, and that
But
is
they're
the
waiting for the
issue. They're
rotation.
waiting for this, so the
Got it.
rotations are such that sometimes there's up to 12 people waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so,
because that was a good thought I had, is that I have one concern and one just general thought, and it's not a monetary thing, because I think the area should look nice and it's not about spending the money.
Mhm.
I'm a little worried that this furniture sitting there, it's gonna disappear.
it's gonna walk off.
Yes.
Thank you, I got the same.
And I think if we're gonna put anything there, I'd rather see that super heavy, high wood, I would call it high wood or something
Sure, like
like
those
that.
polymer.
That's comfortable. I'm not in any way
Okay.
saying they don't deserve to have good stuff there,
Sure,
but
sure.
these things are gonna go into the back of somebody's, I'm sorry to say it, and I don't mean that
No,
in
that's
any way
fine.
to say the pickleball people would do it, it's
But are you
anybody.
talking about the tennis stuff too? Because that's also in the open.
I think it's a
And
lot
it's never
less,
disappeared before, has it?
well, we've had stuff from the pool disappear, haven't we? We
It's
know it.
further away, isn't it?
It's right on the way out. It would be very easy. I think it's much
Well, the
less,
tennis furniture.
yes.
The tennis furniture between the tennis courts, but there is that one table that sits
It's
very
right
near
at
to
the
the
edge of
parking
the
lot.
parking lot.
It's right at the edge of the parking lot. Let me take it back to Racket Sports and see how they feel about looking at different options.
Maybe do we need more, like, in my head, when I was looking at that, because it's a more, well, it's a very lively crowd, so I looked at it
Yes.
and thought, are we better off
Yes.
getting a high wood and maybe like some high top, like, not high top, but higher, like,
And how would that not disappear?
because it's really heavy.
Still
Is
disappear.
that- I think
Okay.
it's still-
Well, I
I'm just concerned
think
that we'll spend more for something better and it could also disappear.
I think we need
I
to,
don't
I
know.
mean, regardless of what we have there, we always have the opportunity that it's gonna walk off. So,
We
right?
know we have outsiders who are using it.
Yeah, unless there's some way to fasten it.
Or something something.
You know those benches that are out by the lakes that, the,
Bolt them down.
Yeah.
They bolt them down.
no, they're not.
Okay.
Me and Dan,
Sorry.
and I had to put a trussel on afterwards because they weigh, 300 pounds, to move them. And they've never walked off anywhere.
Well, that's heavy.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ken?
I was gonna say, is there a way to kind of like chain link them together so that you can't move one? You gotta take 6 things, and then nobody can lift 6 things?
Yeah, but then you can't.
Well, here's my other concern. I played pickleball up here the other day because it was cooler finally.
Sure.
But, those people are pretty anxious to get something that isn't complete crap.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
hate to
they've got,
be that
they
crappy,
got,
but it is
No,
not
you're
good.
right. You're absolutely right.
they've got the sloppy seconds right
And
now,
I kind
for
of
sure.
told them it was
The broken
they're
slots.
even ordered.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we need to have the community look right, and people deserve
And it's the first thing you see when you come
shade
in.
and comfort, exactly.
And I think unless you go to a bench that's 300 pounds, there's a possibility that anything could walk.
Fair enough.
So I'm okay, so racket sports and the tennis director want to remove the grandstands. So they wanted something there, with 4 chairs around. So are you making the recommendation that I go back and say, okay, we're only gonna have, instead of 7 tables, we're gonna have 5 tables, and we're gonna reduce the number of chairs by 8?
I don't know who, if I'm playing on a court, I don't want somebody sitting right there. That's
Okay,
just my
okay.
personal view, but I haven't played tennis in a couple
Let
of
me,
years.
let me take that back to racket sports, right? And then if they are okay with that,
Yeah.
I'll see what
And
they
it's
do.
where the fence is also down low, so you've got the grandstand and the fence is down low, so the balls can fly over there too.
Yeah.
So which is,
I'm just looking for
doesn't make
something
any
to put my
sense.
stuff down on.
In the
Okay.
interim, can we order less 2 tables and 8 chairs?
If you guys are okay with that, I'd be happy, I would love to
We've
be
been
able to
talking
do that.
about this for.
I know, I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. So if I were to say that, then if we're 2 chairs less, that's like $1,500 less, and 8 chairs
You mean
less.
two tables.
Two
less.
tables, I'm sorry, 2 tables less, $1,500, and then 8 chairs less, I'm just gonna say
the chairs were a
300,
decent
that's,
price. They weren't outrageous.
that's 2,400. So I'm looking at like 3,900, and I was gonna ask for do not exceeds of 27, so
You
if
said you
I,
wanted bases and sails, right?
correct. I need 3 bases, which weren't in this estimate that I got, and sails for the shade. So if, I was originally gonna ask for a do not exceeds of 27, would you be okay with the do not exceeds of 23?
Do we need the tea tables?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the tea tables.
Do we need tea tables?
It's a very.
Where are those for? If you're gonna put 2 tables by pickleball, you don't need them by pickleball.
Okay, I'm not quite sure where the 6 tables were going.
And the tea tables are, no, those are little.
Those are like the itty bitty ones that
Yeah.
we see.
I mean, that's for somebody to put a drink down on, but we're not serving
Yeah.
cocktails.
Well, they do drink.
With water bottles, but.
Yeah, but you know,
So 5 tables, 20 chairs, 20, side chairs. Okay, they were gonna have, 12 chairs I'm looking at this, 12 chairs for the pickleball area,
Right.
okay?
And 2 tables.
And then the 2 tables.
that's a lot of
That-
chairs and tables. 6.
Yeah, well, we have a lot
There
of
are
people sitting
sometimes
there.
that many people.
There are
Yeah, I
seriously
know, but
sometimes that many people.
Can you put 6 chairs at a 42-inch round table?
No, but that doesn't mean they have to sit around the table.
Alright.
Yeah, so we've got 12 chairs for the pickleball area. I'm gonna reduce the number of chairs by the tennis courts to 20, because I'm gonna take those out. And I'm gonna reduce the overall tables, the 42-inch tables, to 5. And you want me to eliminate the tea tables.
Which is
So for right now, the order would be 5 tables and 20 chairs.
No, 32 chairs.
Oh, 32 chairs, you're right, 32 chairs, I forgot about those other 12.
And then you need
Okay.
sails and a base.
And then sails and a base, yeah. Sails and 3
And
bases.
And then, does this count the umbrellas?
The umbrellas are on a separate thing, there's 7 of
Right.
those. But I'm also thinking we only need 5 of those if we're only gonna go with 5 tables.
And where are the sales going?
Sales are going over over by the pickleball area because there's absolutely no shade. So we have sales between the tennis courts right now,
All right,
and they want sales over by the pickleball courts as well.
then do you need umbrellas and sales?
I don't know, we have them over by the tennis courts.
Do you
But
need
there's
the umbrella?
trees there.
I mean.
Yeah, it doesn't give you
It
the
doesn't?
shade.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, not at all.
But
You
if
would
you
think it would with that oak
Yeah.
tree, but it
But
doesn't.
if you get sail, if you have umbrellas, you don't need sails. If you have sails, you don't need umbrellas.
Well, then why do you have them between the pickleball, the tennis courts?
I can't answer that. But they're there now.
It's a larger area, I
And-
think.
and they're there, and
The
it's
umbrellas,
there
I think,
now.
are outside. I don't think there are any
Okay,
umbrellas
the
where
sails
they're
are a
sails.
minimal cost.
We can add the sails
Yeah,
later.
let's
That's
look at
inside my limit, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah, you
you're
can
okay with doing that?
those later.
All right.
Just get the umbrellas and the chairs and the.
Five
Yeah, okay, yeah,
tables.
fair enough.
I'm good with that.
Okay, hold on a second, let me figure
Yeah.
this out. Just a second. Would you hurry up? We're down to 5 tables, 32 chairs. And then for the umbrellas, if we were gonna take 2 there,
So
so we
5
only need
umbrellas.
3 umbrellas. Because we're eliminating the 2 where the grandstands were gonna be, and we're eliminating 2 over by the pickleball courts.
I thought we were putting the 2
Oh, we're
in
gonna
and
leave
waiting on the
those?
sales.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
All right,
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
So you just eliminate 2, you need 5.
I need 5,
All right.
I need 5
Right.
umbrellas. Holy cow, this is more math than I expected today. All right.
Count is in your title.
So 600 times 5 is 3,000 plus the $100, so I'm gonna say 3,200 for the umbrellas, just to be on the safe side. And then I'm gonna take 8 chairs out of that, which is 300, 2,400, and I'm gonna take 1,500 out of that, so.
Give yourself a higher number.
I will, yeah, 15. All right, I'm gonna ask for a do not exceed of, right now, 21,000.
Is that your motion?
My motion is to.
I second it. I
I
second
was gonna second that while you were.
That's my motion.
I'll second it, listen.
All right, all right.
Cindy,
Yes, sir.
I know you can do this, but you want to keep track of the pickleball furniture separately from the tennis? Not necessarily break it out on the quote, but
Okay.
for when it gets booked, because pickleball would be capital and tennis would be reserved.
Right.
Okay, all right,
Right.
all right, gotcha, because that's the first time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need, to
Okay.
Ken's point, because it's gonna come from different places, so when I ask Dana to do the transfer, it's gonna come from different places.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
Surplusing any of the old furniture?
Are we waiting?
Surplusing, do we need to surplus any of the old furniture?
Yes, probably some
Why
of
don't we
it.
just make that part of the motion?
Okay.
So motion to exceed, not to exceed 21,000, and surplus the old.
They need deposits or anything? They need deposits?
I have not seen anything on here on deposits that are required.
And since you're looking at
Payment,
cash,
payment terms in advance.
Well, then we're not gonna order this until after October 1st.
Yes, I was just gonna say that was,
Which
Yeah.
is fine.
because that's the
Okay.
20,000, the Trapattoni is payment in advance.
Okay, well,
So,
and
yeah.
Trapattone, so this estimate's, and the reason I asked for 21,000 is because this Trapattone estimate, they were gonna have a 7% increase on their pricing.
I think Tropitone is gonna ask for, a deposit.
They will ask for
I
deposit.
remember when I worked
Okay.
with Nancy on
Okay.
the pool
Yeah,
furniture,
because it says pay in advance,
I
actually.
think they asked for a fairly large deposit.
Okay,
So
All
you
right.
might wanna check with, maybe Nancy
Yeah.
knows, but I'm pretty sure.
And also to go back to the other conversation we had with Jamie, whatever, the commercial warranty is a 5-year frame and finish warranty on the Trapattoni furniture for the pool, so if anything is related to
Right.
the frames, we're warranted, obviously the fabric isn't, so. we
I don't
should-
think it was frames, I think it was
Okay.
all fabric on the stuff
just
there.
Throwing it out there.
All right, so I will put this together. Steven's gonna get a pass on this. I'll send this, do you want me to send it to Justin?
I think they should, I think it's helpful for them to be very aware.
Okay,
Sure,
Okay.
no downside.
okay. All right, that's my motion.
And you're good with adding the surplus for your second?
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Any further discussion?
No.
Nope.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
We're now gonna move into item number 6B, which is the review and approval of the paver maintenance proposal. This is behind tab number 3 for your review.
Brought this up a while ago. Finally got everything put to bed in terms of the quotes and scopes and whatnot. So there's two parts to this. One is doing some repairs to the pavers, especially by the pool. They're dipped and whatever that need to get fixed and corrected. And the other is power washing and sealing. The reserve study had the pavers to be power washed and sealed in 2022.
Yeah.
And then again in 2024, and it was, or 20, something like that. It was never, like 2022 and then 2024, so it's not done. So it's now 2025 going into almost to 2026. So I would like to get this put on as of in October, so we can get this work done and preserve our pavers. So hopefully we can salvage them. They are starting to show some pitting, but the two other paving companies that we had come out said as long as you seal them and maintain them, you'll get more life out of them. So rather than spend $150,000 sooner, I'd rather spend $14,000 this year and then again, and extend that out. So I make a motion to.
Second.
Just two things, Rich. The bill 2 needs to be changed to the district.
Okay.
And then the applied sales tax, we
Yeah.
don't, we don't pay sales tax.
So I have a
If you need a
question.
copy of the exemption, let me know and I'll send it to you so that you can provide it to them.
Do you want me to prepare a contract?
Yes, please.
I have a question about this. So I know this is going through Dave, Signature Blue, which is fine. But I'm telling you, I thought that the pavers were cleaned last year in the roundabout by Immaculate.
I don't know, but
If they were, it was expensed. It wasn't charged to the reserve.
And since
Okay.
then, we've had other people with oils, the vendors with oil stains,
The
whatever.
food trucks
and-
cannot park there.
No,
The food trucks, they cannot park there anymore. Okay.
and you
All
know,
right.
and the food truck that parks there, that
It's a German food truck. that does it.
but whoever it is, I don't care, any food truck that parks here, if you wanna come in and we allow you to come in and you leave a stain and even in the back, you gotta come clean it up.
Yeah.
Otherwise you don't come back.
Plus,
So-
there has been a lot more mildew this year. I've noticed it even on my
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been so damp.
So is Dave subcontracting this out?
He's gonna do it with him and partially for Immaculate, so he's gonna contract it, because we do Immaculate, there's nobody overseeing it. And then Dave said, so he's gonna do part of it, Immaculate's gonna do part, and if Immaculate doesn't finish it, he'll do it himself. So.
Is there,
We had a subcontractor issue at another district.
okay, thank you. All
Which
right.
Andy is
They didn't have
aware of.
time.
So
Workers' comp.
we need to be sure that, this all needs to just be, first of all, we need to know who's actually gonna be doing the work.
Mhm.
And they need to verify, well, it'll be in the contract, but we need to verify their insurance so that we don't have any issues.
But we've used Immaculate through
Yeah,
process here,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I just,
But I would ask that Immaculate provide the district with
sure.
a certificate of insurance naming the district as
Just
an
put
additional
that in the
insurer.
contract, make sure.
Well, I always
all
do, but
parties-
that's why we're running
Okay.
into a problem with
Yeah,
this other.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And just a quick question, Rich.
Yes.
And this is just me, and I have absolutely no aesthetic sensibilities, but was there any thought given to whether we want to try to add some color to the,
I didn't speak to Dave about that.
they look very pale to
I
me.
spoke to the previous, what happens if you add color, you're gonna add color throughout.
Yeah,
So, because it's two-tone,
we're gonna end up with pink.
it says two-tone, so you
Plus,
can't.
it'll look a lot better once it's sealed.
Okay.
And
I
that
think so
brings out,
too.
that brings out.
Okay,
color.
fair enough. I just wanted to ask. I'm not
Yeah, I mean,
advocating
I
in
wouldn't-
any way.
That's why I asked about the tinting to make it look more vibrant. I said,
Tinting, yeah.
but there's also, because the papers are pink, but then you have the white papers.
Mm.
So the white
Okay.
papers are gonna get, and they said for us to sit there and
Okay.
try to.
Yeah, forget it.
That's right, there's
Yeah,
white papers
Okay,
around
never
the
mind.
Yeah.
Because it's never gonna work.
Okay, I didn't ask.
So,
For the size,
Yeah.
for the area we're talking about, this is, I think,
Yeah.
very
very.
Yeah, it's very
That-
reasonable, yeah.
That's what we went back 3 times and walked the areas with them repeatedly to make sure that
Okay.
everybody was in agreement.
Okay.
And we said to them, because I said, if Immaculate doesn't understand it, He goes, if they don't, if I made a mistake with them, he goes, I will do it myself to make sure it's done.
So are we doing both of these proposals?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other question is also, there's also levels of sheen. So you can do like a true matte, which is what most of the people do. You can get a little bit shinier to make it a little wetter. But I don't know what to do.
Does one deteriorate faster than the other?
You're talking about slipperiness, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna talk about the
The
sheen, it's written in the community standards.
The declarations don't
And what
apply.
does it say?
No sheen.
Yeah,
No
no
sheen?
Yeah,
It's just,
Yeah, I know.
that spells what it is.
yes, but,
We should
yeah,
stay
but,
with
yeah,
that.
but we, we're not.
I'm okay
we
with
don't-
that.
We should
Yeah.
stick with the
We should stick, okay.
CWS, my
That's
personal
good.
opinion,
That's,
Yeah.
that's fine.
right? Bob?
I'm fine with Matt. I think it's gonna look a little bit
Agree.
cleaner.
It's gonna look much better no matter what
Yeah,
we do.
yeah.
And it'll preserve it, so hopefully it'll give us, because I think the pavers are on for 2030. I would love to be able to push 2030 to 2032 or
Sure,
34.
absolutely. All right,
To get some
so
more useful life
what,
out
not
of
to
it.
exceed 17 or
Yeah.
something?
All right, so let me, just restate your motion. It's motion to approve subject to preparation of an agreement by district council.
Mhm. Yes,
And you need to get me revised proposals with the correct
Okay.
name and removing the sales tax.
I will get those.
Any further discussion?
So how should we propose, what's the date of what's the draft, how should I make that?
It should be Venetian CDD rather than Gulf and River Club Community Association. That's the issue.
And this estimate's from almost 5 months ago, it's still good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been sitting around forever.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yep,
bounced with Julie and then with Kelso and
okay.
this and that and back and forth, and yes.
Ken, where is this gonna come from?
Well, it should be
Is it-
reserves. I'm sure Rich is saying that this should extend the life of the pavers
Yes.
3 years
Just one.
or more.
Plus it was in reserve.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was in the reserve study, yeah.
I'm just wanting it on the record.
It was in the reserve study.
Fair
No,
enough,
it's in reserves.
okay,
It's in reserves.
And I'm gonna make sure this does not get started till October 1st,
okay,
even if the contractors are available, so this way it's in
sure,
next year's budget.
yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
All right?
Okay, we're gonna move into item number 6D, which is the discussion regarding the POA's request to suspend VRC privileges for past due POA accounts.
There was also the contract.
Pool cleaning
Did I miss that
contract,
one?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm jumping.
C is.
So go back to 6C, which is the discussion regarding the River Club pool cleaning contract.
Yeah,
This is
so
behind tab number 4.
I put this in, I think my audio's good. I put this in because I got this, Kelso had sent this to me before he departed, and I had a couple questions for Dave Manasco. I felt, especially given the amount of this, that the board should be okaying this, because we okay other things like air conditioning contracts, and we want to make sure that if there's anything council has to look at with respect to the contract, that it needs to be done. The questions that I had for myself, well, the first one was, if this amount is in the budget, and beginning October 1, the budgeted amount is $3,600 a month. I did query Dave. You may have seen that on page 2, Article 3, the payment terms, he offers for a second weekly full cleaning to be added could be added at $800 a month, which obviously would be outside of budget. However, although it's outside of budget, I guess I'm not a user of the pools, but I would point out it is our number one amenity, and sometimes, especially during, high season, we can have very heavy pool loads. So I guess my question is, Cindy, you're probably the biggest user. I mean, setting aside for a moment the fact that it's outside of what the budgeted amount is, do we need another weekly cleaning a week? And that would entail, the scope of work on that is everything on the first page, which is, scrubbing of waterline ceramic tiles, skimming surface water, vacuuming, brushing, testing and maintaining water chemistry, and enzyme treatments. So it's the full schmear of cleaning the pool an extra time a week.
But isn't he saying that we can add it just for that period? I don't think that's an added.
An
Like
optional second
permanently.
may be added per month if requested by the owner. I
Like-
feel like it's ad hoc.
Yeah, like it.
Oh, I didn't
I read that as an
Time
as
season,
needed.
if
I
we
did
go,
read
oh my
it that
God,
way.
we need
Yeah.
another
It's
cleaning,
bad.
we can add
And,
another.
and I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't think we would need it.
Okay.
There's a little bit of tidying up that needs to be done on the tiles by the water line. But Dave is absolutely phenomenal. So
Yeah,
it
he is
is.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I would think only if there's a
Okay.
special need, like to
Yeah.
make the ground.
Well, I think, you
Exactly,
know, Christmas,
exactly.
Christmas week, New Year's week, you know,
Yes.
Easter week, we
Yeah.
have we have a very
Presidents.
heavy, Presidents, we have a heavy
Yeah.
boulder load. So
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we,
Do we have a contract with them now?
yes. Well,
We're supposed to.
That's my
you may
question.
not have the contract, but I
Okay.
think it's, when the prior vendor left, which was in December of last year,
Yeah.
he just, you know, we needed somebody pretty much right away, but I think we should treat this as a,
So I'll do a new contract.
so I guess I'll make a motion to accept the proposal from Signature Brew for the pool cleaning contract, subject to preparation of contract by council.
Second.
Got it.
I'll let Dave.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please stand.
Aye.
So I did forward this to Justin, so he had. a copy.
Great, okay, perfect,
Okay.
yeah, because
Mhm.
you're right, because they're gonna
I
have
want them
very
to start
heavy
s-
eyeballs on this stuff.
And I want them to have copies of everything that we're getting at
Yes.
this point, so we
Yeah.
don't forget about it.
For sure.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Moving into item number 6D, which is the discussion regarding the POA's request to suspend the VRC privileges for past due POA accounts.
So I put that on the agenda. Andy, if you could respond to that request. And could you include also the comment made during public comment about the statute? Could you respond to that as well? Thank you.
Sure, so yes, I'll be glad to. So this has come up before, back in, right around January of 2024. And I think it was Marshall Happer at the time that provided the request. And our response then has not changed, which is I don't believe that we can do this. From a high level, you can't be mixing amenities. I mean, this is our amenity that a resident evidently has a problem with the POA, you know, they haven't paid. So you cannot deny privileges for our CDD amenity. If for whatever reason, which we have had in the past, people are in violation with something related to the CDD, you know, we may suspend them from here, we may pull their privileges at the gate or whatever, but we don't cross over to the POA. And so we don't have, there's two reasons, and it's outlined in that memo that you have there. One, we don't have enforcement powers. I mean, it's one of the reasons why in a CDD you form a POA, is because they're the ones that enforce covenants and things along those lines. With the exception of there's this weird thing that's in the statute, which is what we quote to in the memo. It's a fairly recent addition to Chapter 190, but we don't have that agreement here. So we have a separate CDD, separate POA with their own respective amenities and infrastructure and such, and we don't cross over. And the CDD also, there are a lot of Attorney General opinions out there that says that as a special district, the CDD only has the powers that are enumerated to them in their charter. And our charter is Chapter 190. And so we don't have the right to deny privileges of our amenities for failing to pay POA assessments. We just don't. I heard the comment before about the Chapter 720, which is of course the HOA statute. And yes, the HOA statute, I'm not surprised, has provision in there. If you don't pay your assessments, they're going to deny you, you know, use of common elements and things along those lines. Those are all POA common elements.
Not CDD common elements.
So you can't cross the barriers.
Understood.
Pretty simple.
Understood.
Even though, just so I understand this,
Yeah.
the River Club is a members only facility.
Well,
It's members, I'm not saying it's private, it's members only.
Right.
We
Right,
pay for this privilege here. That piece still falls under the umbrella of the CDD,
Well,
even
it's-
though.
It's CDD owned.
It's CDD owned,
and
yes.
you pay for the River Club through your CDD assessment.
Okay, and that's the distinction.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will forward your letter to Barbara and Bob of the POA so that they are aware of the legal rationale.
Can I be contrary? Not that I'm never that way. So there were a couple things in here in the opinion that, so the opinion says, districts only have authority to enforce limitations, prohibitions, compliance mechanisms, or remedies on external appearances or uses that are deemed generally beneficial to the district landowners.
If they avail themselves of that special provision in 190.0124.
Okay.
Which we do not have, and there's no need for us to have it. That is typically utilized when you don't have a POA. Sometimes developers mess up and they don't form a POA or have someone that has covenant enforcement powers. That's where this came from. I have a district up in Pasco County that's like that. And then they said, hell, there's nobody here to do covenant enforcement. I said, okay, in limited circumstances, we're going to give it to the CDD, and this is how it's done.
I see, okay. So, but David's final paragraph says, in conclusion, there must be, Dan Lewis. In conclusion, there must be a written agreement executed by both the district and the POA to allow the community development district to enforce deed restrictions, even then the enforcement is limited in scope. Which I tried to key that back to compliance mechanisms, and then further, the district may have to amend its establishment ordinance before any agreement is signed, which to me is a minor thing. We just go to the city.
It's not that minor, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what Dan is saying is, if we wanted to avail ourselves of that statutory provision, there's really no need for us to do that, okay, when we have a POA. But if we did, then you do the way it all reads out there in the statute that's attached, or I don't think I attached it, but I have it, is that you would have to enter into an agreement with the POA to make that happen. And then Dan is saying that even if you did that,
You have to go to the city and-
there's still the question of what I said before, that you're governed by the four corners of your enabling ordinance, and we don't have, we never needed to.
Not right now.
We don't have covenant enforcement in our enabling ordinance, and I don't know why we would want to have that. And then, yes, we would have to go to the city, and it's a fairly complicated process to,
What do we get
ask
on the
for additional
agenda?
powers.
I think we'd have to hire outside counsel to do that.
Potentially,
Yeah.
yes.
So I guess I just wanted, so it's not that we can't do it, it's that there are barriers to doing it.
We may not be able to do it. I
We
think
still
might
may
be
not be
better.
able to do it,
Yeah.
period.
It's not that we can just flip a switch.
Right.
We
No,
may
I
spend a lot-
understand that.
But I'm just saying, we may spend a lot of money and still not be able to.
That is
do it.
correct.
That's my point.
That is correct.
All right.
Well, my personal view is I get it, but.
I wish we could, but,
I wish we could too. That's not, for me, it's just there's such a distinction. It's almost like distinction of church and state. I mean, there's like two entities with two completely different responsibilities, and we don't cross over at any point.
Right, there is no, like, we are running parallel to each other. Yeah.
And if you don't pay your POA dues, I mean, if you didn't pay your CDD O&M assessment, okay, which you are, because it's on the tax roll,
Well,
but if you didn't pay your
County
CDD
pays
O&M assessment, and the POA owned park in here, they don't, we put in.
Well, they own the boardwalk.
Okay, the boardwalk, we wouldn't be able to say you can't go on the boardwalk.
Bob?
I have two comments. Number one is I echo Jill's remarks, and before you shut that down, I'd certainly like to understand maybe the magnitude of the cost or this difficulty. You know, how difficult it is to follow the final paragraph in Andy's.
Well, I'm not sure, like I said, they would even allow it, because that whole thing was set up in 190 for a community that did not have a POA.
Okay.
Correct.
You've got a POA. And I've talked to the last go around, I don't know if you still have the same attorney, but when this was raised in 2024, I spoke with your attorney about it. and he completely understood it as well and agreed. I mean, feel free to reach out, of course.
Okay.
But
Would be Kevin, I think, Kevin.
About your attorney, Dr.
Number two, so we would reach out to our attorney. Number two is I've not been in these meetings very long, but the few months that I have been sitting in here listening to them online, I've heard requests from the CDD for the POA to do enforcement, for example, on traffic or on community standards. It seemed like there should be a reciprocal.
But that's your
That's
charter,
your
that's your
responsibility.
charter.
It's your responsibility.
That's your chart. Our charter says what we can do, your charter says what you can do. So we're just asking you to
Well,
do what
charter,
you
you're
can
talking
do.
about declarations.
With the declaration charter, yeah.
So
absolutely.
if you look at.
Yeah, the statutes,
And
enforcements, yeah. We're limited by what we can do. Just because we ask you to do what you can do within your parameters, doesn't mean that we can do something reciprocal if it's not in our wheelhouse.
But our declaration was written when the POA had, the River Club.
The POA
Yeah,
had the river
yeah.
club.
We need to move
So-
on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
'cause
you and,
you gotta
let's
get
you
out
and me
of here.
talk about it a little
Yeah.
more,
Okay.
because
All
we're
right.
obviously on the same
Yeah, we
wavelength.
just hit the 3-hour mark,
Yeah.
supervisors, and we still
Yeah.
have a lot of items to cover.
Okay.
Okay.
Cindy, I think.
All right, so we're gonna move into item
You're
number 6E,
Yeah.
which is the discussion regarding the cash needs through October 2025. This is behind tab number 5 for your review.
Yes, so I met with Vanessa and Melissa several weeks ago, and we talked about the cash. The first spreadsheet underneath the tab is Melissa's perspective on what cash needs are through the end of September. So that doesn't include what we need to get to October. So my number was a little bit different than her, and mine is more Excel spreadsheet looking. And I think we're gonna be short at the end of September by about $84,000. And it might not be that much now that we've got the extra money from AR, that AR is down from 30 to 16. So we've got $14,000 there, which puts us at 70. Going into October, our ACH is our October payroll. I am looking at, and then the cash infusion that we get from Dana of the $150,000, and then of course our AR and everything else. I anticipate us being anywhere between 140 and now 155. Originally, I was saying 155,000 short. Now with this little bit more cash that we got from AR, probably closer to 140. When I was talking with Vanessa, she basically said we can't take it from general, and we don't have enough money in River Club capital to take it from there. So the recommendation was to take it from River Club reserves, and then when we get the cash in from our assessment, the first thing we do is we repay back into the reserve. So we're basically running $150,000 less from a budget perspective than we originally anticipated for next year at that point, because we basically be taking it and having to repay the reserves. So that is, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
No, that's fine.
I was just gonna say, but that, at least then we have a whole year to evaluate and possibly restate the budget. That's the problem now, is we can't do that.
Exactly, because that's what Melissa asked me, and I said, we can't do a restatement at this point because we've submitted all the trim and everything is in there and it's done and it's over with. So we have to pull it from somewhere. So my recommendation, and I don't know if this needs a vote or not, is that I'm gonna recommend $150,000, because if we don't use it, then we're not out anything. But if we don't have enough and we're still at a shortfall, then we have this situation where we're still short cash. So we can even go higher than that if you want. I thought 150 to 155 would be adequate.
I think we should be more aggressive than less aggressive, because we can always pay it back. But if we are stuck in a cash problem, that's a problem.
Right, and now this, of course, is hoping that we start to get our cash back in, and
End of November.
yeah,
Well,
end of November.
a couple questions, and then, one thing I wondered, because there's a lot of money in hurricane, and I don't think, does it matter? My first question for Belinda is, does it matter the source? Can we take it from hurricane and put it back in? Or is that kind of a
I
no-no?
mean,
No, you
hurricane is
can-
in operating.
Hurricane's in operating,
You have it in a separate fund,
Yeah.
but yes, you can.
It's a,
use
it's
it
a,
as
it's
well.
a, you know.
That's an option.
but it
So-
still has to be repaid back.
Yeah.
Okay, good
Okay,
idea.
and then,
Yeah.
the
What's
second.
easier?
Yeah, it's easier, exactly.
The second question, and, you know, is, so there's the cash issue, and then there's the, you know, with what we're looking at, and then there's running the club until the cash receipts come in.
Right,
And then there's also the restatement piece,
yes.
which we, you know, we got the financials, I think we were at 88 or 89,000 behind budget, so let's assume we're gonna be, say, 100,000 behind when we have to restate. Don't we have to include all those numbers when we look at it holistically in terms of what we're gonna need?
Well, I'm just asking for cash, and the
Yeah, this is
restatement to
just-
me is different than cash flow.
Yeah, totally different.
Yeah.
I'm talking
When
just
you
strictly
have
cash
your
flow.
budget amendment, if you have a budget amendment, it's hard. We don't know data-wise where we're gonna be within the next few months.
Understand. Yeah.
I think we should analyze it to see where we are maybe in 6 months.
Okay.
And then come back and see where you're going to need additional funds towards the end of the fiscal year. Because I think right now, we've known that this is gonna happen, given, you know, the excess as it relates to being over budget. But, because we used to have, and Jill knows this because we've talked about it, we typically had what is now your capital fund. Those were funds that we would utilize for the new fiscal year.
Right.
But since the board back then made a decision to put those funds into these capital accounts, you don't really have those funds anymore. So at this point, I would say that, we need to, regardless, the budget's gonna have to be amended.
Yep.
We're waiting on the final numbers towards the end of the fiscal year, which we're closing out on the 30th or 31st.
Right.
Is it 31st or 30?
30.
30. So once we close out and we have the year-end financial, then we'll have to analyze how much prior year we have to apply towards
Right.
the issue that we're having
Yes.
with the over budget amount, so that we're at
Right.
zero. Because
Mhm.
what'll happen is that if you can't amend your budget, you're gonna get a ding in your audit.
Right.
Right,
And then we're gonna need 2 months of cash to run the club.
right,
So you're talking $330,000.
with the shortfall, yeah.
No, not including the shortfall. Because right now, we're transferring $150,000 a month to run the club from tax
But
receipts.
we're still gonna have the 150,000 from Dana.
But I think everything has
Is that what you're
been
talking
already transferred for this fiscal year. The only thing, next month is when you'll have a new transfer.
Right, it'll
Right.
still be a transfer.
We have one more transfer left in October, believe it or not.
Enough for,
Enough, we
in
have,
cash.
in cash, we have one
Right.
more for
But
100.
that doesn't get us to the end of November. When
That
the money
does-
starts coming
Then
in.
that's what I'm asking, yes, for that $150,000.
I would make it 200, just be.
That's fine, I'm good, listen, I'd go $250,000 at this point.
It's easily-
You're taking it out to put it back, but you're.
Yes.
Since it's in operating,
Yes.
it's a much easier transition.
Okay.
And I
Better-
agree,
fair
more than less.
Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Yes.
So I think we're all on the same page.
These
It's
numbers
helpful.
were just directional to
Yeah.
tell you where, you know,
Mhm.
I would prefer to be much more conservative with the number, so I'm good with 250. If you wanted to go as high as 250, if we don't use it, we don't use it, we put it
Put it
back.
back.
You make your recommendation, Cindy.
All right,
You're the one
I'm-
who's been in the numbers.
I'm gonna recommend 250,000 be transferred from the hurricane operating fund.
I second that.
To River Club.
To River Club operating in order to sustain operations through November.
And that means River Club operating at Dana, not First Horizon. Yeah, right.
Yes,
Because it may not be First Horizon. I don't know what Hampton's gonna choose. It'll go to, okay, so
it'll go to whatever,
Hurricane to.
yeah, I don't know if, yeah. Well, for right now, theoretically, it's First Horizon, but it may not be, yeah. it may
Yeah, we'll
change bank
just
accounts.
leave it at Dana. It's gonna be a.
Yes,
Yeah, so the balance in the hurricane, fund is $1,033,424.74.
Okay,
okay,
And we have 200 going out with this project,
correct.
so there's still
Right.
sufficient funding.
okay,
It's a bit of money.
okay.
Okay.
What's the second? I didn't grab, okay, Rich.
And can we say when in the motion? Do we do it now? Do we do it in 30
ASAP.
days?
Yeah, I would just
Let's do it let's do it right now.
Do you wanna just wait until Hampton takes over with the new bank?
Oh, yeah, okay, so let's say
Yeah.
October 2nd.
I don't think we need to say when, I mean, it's up to you guys.
I'd rather have it in the motion.
Yeah, then that way it's not getting pulled out under best of management. So let's say, I'm gonna say,
No later than October 15th.
yeah, no later than October 15th is perfect. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then that way it won't be sitting in First Horizon.
Yeah. No,
It'll
I
go
don't
into
want
the-
it
right,
there, 'cause
yeah,
it's just gonna
exactly.
confuse
Yeah,
things.
Yes.
there's gonna be a transition process with banking, so
Okay,
it's better to just wire the funds to Hampton's account, and then you have a clean slate,
So,
so.
exactly.
Okay.
So we'll just wait, yeah.
perfect.
All right,
Any
excellent.
further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
So I'm gonna talk to Vanessa, because she's gonna have to book, a due from on the
Mhm.
financial statements. So
Mhm.
I'll make sure that she puts this in there once the transfer is done.
Okay, great, thank you.
So it'll reflect in the financials.
The only saving grace is I've done some preliminary numbers for next year and we're gonna have significant savings. I think, I'm hoping.
I agree with you.
I'm optimistic
Increased
about it.
I'm very
revenues.
optimistic
Yeah,
about
I
things
too.
under control
Me
that,
Me too.
you know, getting rid of that burden.
Yep.
That burden is big, getting rid of credit cards is big.
Agree.
Little bit more
Getting handle on-
operating
Yeah,
controls.
getting handle on the, exactly,
Yeah.
the expenses that, you know, between the credit card expenses and the
We got
Amazon
20 minutes
expenses.
left.
20 minutes.
All right. So we now have item number 6F, which is the acceptance of the audit for fiscal year end September 30th, 2024, as prepared by Berger, Toombs, Elam, Gaines, and Frank. This is behind tab number 6 for your review.
I just had one tiny question. I think it's just the semantics.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna ask.
Section 218.503.1.1 that said we did not meet one or more of the conditions, I assume means.
Those are bad things.
Ken asked that question also.
Oh, okay.
Everybody asks.
In other
it.
words, we didn't get a demerit on our
Correct.
audit. Okay.
It's written,
I read it 3 times and I said, I'm too tired, I need a glass of wine.
Those are bad
It
things.
is a
You
double
did not need the bad things.
audit reports are always written backwards in my mind.
Oh,
They are.
Your heart
And
goes-
everybody asked that question.
yeah, so do you need a motion for ratification?
We need a motion to accept as presented.
Accept it, okay, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Those are like financial emergencies and stuff. you know.
All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you. We now have item number 6G, which is the review and discussion of the cul-de-sac work and
Yes.
results.
So cul-de-sac work and results, basically, there is money in reserves over $200,000 for the original cul-de-sac work. And we are now proposing, we did one cul-de-sac on Mestrick Place. If you have a chance to drive by, it's the north side. We just shored up the arborcola around the middle of the palm tree and then planted staggered Exora and staggered Liriope around, and everybody's very happy with it. It's a nice, modest review. We're also getting mulch, so that it's not so weedy. It's a nice, easier maintained area as long as we can maintain the mulch with our once-a-year mulching. And so I wanted to give you that update, and then can I just jump right to J, which is the rest of the cul-de-sac work that I added. We have a bid. I did a review of all the cul-de-sacs. We have 5 in dire need. And so we have a bid to repair and do this new design on 5 cul-de-sacs, as well as replace the medjool palm on Balanza, which is dead, really dead. And that bid from Blue Sky is actually $10,050. So I am requesting approval to do that
Need a contract.
from Blue Sky. We've done them before. It is planting.
Okay.
I don't think we do, since they're not guaranteeing anything.
We have their insurance.
Yeah,
Okay, you want a motion? Or did you make a
I would
motion?
make that motion.
Second.
How much again was it, Cheryl?
$10,050.
Good price.
Good deal.
Any further discussion? No? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye. Okay, and then my second motion is, that leaves 20 remaining cul-de-sacs that have to be redone. There's not one cul-de-sac that doesn't have a new design that doesn't need to be redone. Just say that first. So if we do 20 more cul-de-sacs, some will need the arborcola in the middle, some will not. I would like to do them in 3 tranches by how severe they are. Using the same company, I would request a not to exceed $42,000 instead of $200,000 to do all of the cul-de-sacs and get them done over the next few months.
I'll second that.
Cheryl, I'm trying to look up, when were those scheduled?
They weren't scheduled, they were in reserves from
Right.
several years ago.
That was for when,
There was
Rich,
spread between 24, 25, and 26.
Right.
Let's do it.
And this is much less, and that will leave us
Yeah.
a lot of money that you can redistribute in reserves with the new reserve report.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, let's make it so.
All right.
yeah, they're
Great
covered, so I
Great.
just want to make sure we were covered.
That's super.
Okay,
Any further discussion?
and the landscape committee would like to call this the McCaffrey project, just to continue.
Aw.
We agree with his desire, just
that's
want to
sweet.
modify it a little bit.
I told Pam.
Yeah.
All those in favor, please state aye.
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 All right. We now have item number 6H, which is the discussion regarding tree trimming on Venetian.
All right, this is also me.
Yep.
I believe I misspoke at the POA meeting, and so I want to get clarity here and understand exactly. And this has to do with tree trimming one of our large oaks on Veneto, 2 of them, overhanging properties that are adjacent to those oaks. One is on a roof and one is just over their property, and they're asking that we have them trimmed. I mistakenly thought that because it was our tree, we could trim them, and so I would like the opinion on what we actually need to do.
Well, we can trim them, okay? It's our tree, it's on our land, we can trim them, doesn't mean we have to trim them. And the homeowner is free to trim them if they like, up to the vertical plane, as long as they don't damage or kill the tree. So the question becomes, so if the homeowner says, hey, there's a branch hanging over my lanai and I'm, and I'm afraid of it. If they can trim the vertical plane and take care of it themselves. If they're saying, hey, CDD, we want you to take care of it, we do not have to unless that tree, and we would not have any liability if it fell on their cage, unless that tree had some damage or was dying or something like that, then we would potentially have liability if someone said, hey, that tree's dead, and we didn't remove it. So, all of that being said, the question then becomes, do you want to take it upon yourself to trim that branch? You may, but keep in mind that it's sort of a slippery slope because you're gonna have a lot of homeowners going, that branch is, potentially gonna hurt my cage, and that one too, et cetera, et cetera. So that is the status of the law.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they large? Are they the massive?
The big oaks, the ones on the boulevard. It's a big oak. And so here's the rest of my thought process. I believe all of our oaks need to be
Yes.
lifted and trimmed. And so part of my concern is, if we're gonna lift and trim all the oaks like we probably should be doing, and that's what we're gonna do out on Laurel Road, by the
Oh, thank
way,
gosh.
is part of this will be, they're gonna lift and trim
Okay,
them
good.
because they're not trimmed right. But that's a special project, and we have a lot of oaks in here.
It is,
So-
I don't know if you remember, but I don't think you were on the board, but Joe, you probably remember this. We did a structural pruning several years back.
Okay.
And we had a complete scope and it went out for bid. I remember that the scope was prepared by Tyree back when he was with us. And the trees were lifted. There was a lot of work done. So if it's that time again, we can tell John so that he can work with the other John, who is a certified arborist, to prepare the scope so that you can bid out for structural pruning to take place. From what I understood, it's not something you do every year or every 2 years. I think it's more of a 4 or 5 year thing. But I think it is time because it's been a while since Tyrone hasn't been raised.
Actually, when I mentioned that earlier this year when we got the work done, that's kind of what I was thought we were gonna get, because a lot of those branches are really hanging heavily over Veneto, and any wind, any rain, any event's gonna have those things come
This is a
crashing
little
down.
different. So if you have overhanging branches that are limiting, sidewalks and stuff, then LMP has to trim those to prevent people from, getting hit by
No, I'm
branches.
talking, that's all up, but they're,
The whole canopy will be
it's,
part.
yeah, that's
of the structural
when I brought that up, that's what I was anticipating when I had mentioned that previously. I guess I didn't explain it properly.
LMP goes up to 8 foot.
Yeah, they actually supposed to go to 10 foot, but.
Yeah,
So
if you.
can we have John do a scope for that? I think that would be really helpful, so we know. And then my response to the POA folks will be, the owner of the property has the ability to do the trimming to the vertical plane of their property line and can do that.
Yes.
But know that we will be doing structural pruning in the
At some
future.
point.
Yeah, I think he's going to need, to come out to do the count for how many trees, because that count has changed since we've had so many storms.
What's the liability of us going and cutting down a branch over somebody else's property? If we,
Yeah, I'm not saying we would do that. I'm saying that the property owner has the right to trim their own
But
tree.
you're just
I'm
saying.
saying, and we're getting a bid for structural pruning, which may in fact pull up what is in there.
Yeah,
I mean, we're gonna
yeah.
have to do the pruning. We're gonna,
We don't, they will, and we might not like it.
yeah.
It's my concern.
I'm just gonna, that's why I said I would tell them, they can do it, they have the right, but we are gonna be doing a structural pruning in the future.
But your question.
Is going into their property to
Well,
do
we would
that,
not go onto their property,
then you might,
It would be done from
our
outside.
side, yeah.
I don't know, yeah, it's kind of hard. How do you cut the branch and not have it fall on their
Well,
property?
they did it 5 years ago.
That's up to our vendor,
Yeah.
they'll have insurance and indemnification and contract that I prepared, so.
So if it's okay, I will just provide that information. We'll get information on the scope from John and kind of move forward from there. But I think it'll also make our oaks just look really old now because they haven't.
They're
been
scraggly.
pruned.
Scrag, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
which makes the whole,
And
this will be nice.
And the homeowner should also do the same thing, because the sole reason, and when I was on the ACC, I was saying the sole reason that all these trees are dying is because they're getting so overgrown. And then windstorms come and knock down half the side of it and rips the tree apart. If the canopy was brought down in the winter event, there's less tree to be affected. The roots can hold the tree better. And then you're not getting these excessive branches collapsing.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. That helps me a lot. Thank you. I knew I was speaking out of turn, and so I needed clarity. That's it.
So I'll put that on the follow-up sheet so that John is aware, and I'll also reach out to him via Teams and let him know so he can start working on that. I think he's gonna probably have to come out maybe during his inspection or prior so that he can do an adequate tree count. Moving forward, we do have item number 6I, which is the ratification of the termination of the amenities general manager.
We just need a motion to ratify.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're gonna move into,
We have the two things we
Well,
were
we
gonna.
took care
we
of
took
one.
care of one, so that would have been J. So now we're gonna move into K, which is the ratification for pool repairs.
Yes, correct, yep. And there are two items under that. The first one is, I don't think, unless somebody remembers this, one of the items, you don't think we did either?
I know.
Yeah, one of the items that I got, Ken, you would have seen this in terms of reserves
Yeah.
transfer was
I thought the heaters was approved.
You did? Okay.
Okay.
All right, well
I
then,
thought so, but I can't, I don't have all the minutes to go back and look, but.
I went back through, I have to tell you, and I couldn't find it, and
Doesn't hurt to ratify.
I think I'd like to ratify this because I keep track of anything that is
Yeah.
is approved but not yet transferred from reserves, and I didn't have this, so I'd like to make a motion that, for the approval, ratification of $8,200 to repair, the heaters in the lap, heater in the lap pool.
When was that for?
This was, actually, it was just done. It was, the work was done in the middle of September. And I don't think we ratified, I don't think we discussed it. I think Kelso just approved it and the work got done. Nobody came to me.
I remember talking about it and looking it up in the reserves.
Okay.
I do remember talking about it, but I don't remember if we.
Okay. All right,
I
well, let's
couldn't
just
find
ratify
it.
it. I second.
Okay, it's for the spa and the lap pool, $8,200. And the work's already done, so I need a ratification, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a motion by Jill, second by Cindy. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then the second one, which is a ratification of an expense we already had discussed. Some of you, and I mentioned it in the workshop, that the work done on the geothermals was successful, so we now have a final payment due of $11,000. So I'd like to ask for that to be ratified. This is the completion of the geothermal work. Yeah, so that's what that is.
Is there a second to
I'll
Jill's
second
motion?
that. Yes.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 And hopefully the trees by the return will go back and everything will be fine, so
Yeah.
we made sure that they pulled them out and they didn't mention that. I went there, I said, pull them out, see if we can get them back in. And they
Yeah.
said we should be okay, so.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, we now have item number 7A, which is a consideration of the minutes of the Board of Supervisors meeting held on September 8th, 2025. These are behind tab number 7 for your review. Are there any questions, comments, and/or changes to the minutes as presented?
I have a couple, Belinda, on line 67. The POA initiative for replanting trees will conclude December 2026, not December 26th. That would be aggressive.
Okay.
And then on line 96, just so that this is, the Juniper contract with beginning the design of the entrance and the 3 islands after the entrance, and then down Veneto Boulevard. So we get the whole scope. That's it.
Any other changes? No. If there are no further changes, we'd be looking for a motion to approve with changes as noted on the record.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 We're gonna move into the acceptance items, the consent items. These are behind tab number 8 for your review. There are 4 different sets of minutes for your acceptance.
I'm gonna make the motion, we accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please state aye.
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 Advisory committee liaison reports, are there any reports?
Yeah, I've got a follow-up to actually the conversation in the minutes regarding the mold remediation. Ran into the guys here that were here the last week. Chef had originally followed them for the original inspection, and everything they said was nominal, especially for building this condition. Most of the things just need to be cleaned, it was dirty. When we started speaking to them, they said they were supposed to be doing some air testing, and we're supposed to send this information to Chef, just so we had it, but they didn't think anything would come up out of that. They also said that they do carpet cleaning and air duct cleaning. Those sent us a quote, haven't heard from that either. So I don't know where it stands. We don't have their information to reach out to them. Stephen, so if you can find out who those guys were,
Sure.
that would be great. They were surprised that we even brought them in to check out the mold here because they said this. So they were questioning what the motivation was. And I've heard rumors that's the motivation. I don't need to get into that. But they don't think there's an issue. But in terms of getting the carpet cleaned and the ducts cleaned after, I mean, I don't know if they've ever been done, but after 20 years, it might be a good idea. So I'm just trying to figure out what those costs might be and what the story is.
Any other liaison reports?
No, Darlene did a great job on mine.
Yeah, Nancy did a great job on mine.
Supervisor requests or comments? Are there any supervisor requests or comments?
I have one. Several weeks ago when Kelso was here, he mentioned that there might be the possibility that we actually still have our long-term, our contract with Club Essentials. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, so I need to get clarification from it. My understanding was we were only retaining the data. Kelso had mentioned, and then other people had talked about it, that Club Essentials, we could bring back the entire system and lay it on top of Jonas, since Jonas isn't super club friendly with the racket sports. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there. I don't know what the true status of that is.
Plus, do we know that Jonas isn't club friendly, or is it our ability?
Well, you know, and yes, and we may not have bought the right modules and the right upgrades and the right bolt-ons. I don't know that.
And
And talk to Justin.
I will talk to Justin. I
Justin said to me,
And I've also heard that there's two versions of Jonas.
Yes.
We have the remote version versus the on-site version.
Yeah.
And the two versions do not work the same.
Correct.
So we might need to upgrade to the full service on-site version, which I don't know what that would be, but that's what I've heard when I was sitting with Becky and Stephanie.
Yes.
About the reports. They said, well, they were also told that, by Jonas, that our problem is we don't have the version we should have.
That is correct. I believe that 100%. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about the Club Essentials thing, just to clear that.
Thanks.
Just in case any questions.
There's just one more thing that we were just talking about before we adjourn. We would like for the board on the record to authorize the chair once Andy finishes the red line so that we can get this contract done. And I think that's, as long as it's on the record.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Sure.
All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
And then once the final contract is executed, we'll just circulate it to everybody so that you have it for your record.
Cool.
I have one more thing on your board, supervisor comments. So I'm just thinking about this. We talked about issuing a notice of deficiency to LMP. I'm just requesting, can we hold that until October 6th? And there's a reason, because I'm trying to negotiate something else with Willow Road.
I make that.
Yes.
The board director.
Just give me,
Yeah,
just give me 2 weeks, and then we can do that.
Be my guest.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and get it ready, so that it's just
Get it
ready,
ready.
so on
That would
October
be
6th, we
good.
can just accept
But I would like to have a couple.
There you go.
Yeah, just tell them to watch the minutes of the meeting or the
Yeah.
video and then,
Wake up.
Yeah.
Are there any other supervisor requests or comments?
Oh, travel safe, Cam.
Yes.
All right,
See you in a couple weeks.
Looking forward to getting back.
it's 1:02 PM. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
wait.
Well, what do you, yeah?
I'd just like to point out two things. The master declaration that was written in 2003 was written by the developer for the developer.
Yeah.
And as you read that, it's pretty convoluted. The transfer of the River Club, as far as I can see, was done in 2011, October the 24th, with the Second Amendment to the master declaration. And then the Fifth Amendment, which was done in March of 2015, says suspensions and fines. This is on the the Fifth Amendment to the master declaration. Under item 2, 1620, 1621. In the event a homeowner is more than 90 days delinquent in the payments of monetary obligations due the association, the homeowner, such homeowners, tenant, guest, invitee, and their residents use the common property facilities, the voting rights pertaining to the lot, pertaining to such suspension